Well, hello there. Welcome to the late night show. Let's party. Actually, if you're in Edmonton, it's not really that late night. But hi, it's Adam Wylde, and I am so excited to be hanging out with you. Game 4, Edmonton. I love that the anthem singer sings in the crowd. It's so much cooler. Listen, guys, I think last game was a bit of a weird one. You can blame it on me. I did say with 5 seconds to go, I think we're headed to overtime here, folks. Or in fact, I don't even think I said I think. I just said we're headed to overtime. Idiot, moron, stupid. But to be honest with you, did you think any different? Who could have thought different? It's kind of nuts how this all worked out. And so here we are, and the Oilers are not up 3-0 in this series. I honestly thought at a certain point, I'm like, they're going to just win this whole damn thing. This is crazy. So we got to see what we can from Stuart Skinner tonight. Hopefully he plays NHL level, but the stats don't favor him. What the stats do favor is Connor McDavid. Here's Connor McDavid's stats after a loss in his career in the playoffs. 33 games, 21 goals, 63 points. 63 points in 33 games following a loss. Do you think Connor McDavid hates losing? Puck is dropped, and we're ready to rock and roll. McDavid is third all-time in playoff points per game at 1.602. He's 0.005 behind Mario Lemieux. Draisaitl is fifth all-time, yet neither 97 or 29 rank top 150 in playoff game-winning goals. Maybe they need to be better. All those stats were nice, by the way, provided by Stats God producer Hayden. But perhaps, maybe, they're not scoring at the right times. Are Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl bad, actually? Got to ask the question. Also, a fun Matthews stat after a playoff loss. 26 games, 13 goals, 28 points. Not quite 63 points, but still pretty good. We got the chat going. And by the way, Justin Fisher is joining us tonight. A rare night off for Robert Malloy. And Justin, who's been handling all the Steve Dangle stuff, is probably like, you know what? Adam's stream's a little more chill than Steve's. Far less USA chance. Far less. Leaf Olbstad, 63 points in 33 games. That's 157 points in a season. Damn. Honestly, dude, McDavid. Francois LaBelle saying, go SDPN, go. Thank you, Francois LaBelle. Hello, everybody. Let's have a fun night. Let's do a little city check-in. Where's everybody from? I want to know. Give me your cities. Where are you watching from tonight? Are you Oilers fans? 23rd Nero says, what time in the East do these things end? Should I order more brews? Well, I don't have any beers at the SDPN HQ here, but I will tell you that usually it wraps up around just before 1 a.m. All right, we got a lot of Edmonton. We got Oshawa. We got Adelaide, Australia from a Red Wings fan. Greensville, South Carolina, Merritt, BC, London, Ontario, Seattle, Cold Lake, Alberta. Shout out, Alberta. I love Alberta. Vernon, BC, St. John, New Brunswick, Kitchener, Jersey. We got Kuopio. Sorry, it's Finland. I'll just say Finland. Galway, Sweden. See, here's the thing. Finnish is so hard to pronounce. And Swedish, which is right next to it, not as hard to pronounce. I don't know why. St. Paul, Alberta. St. Marie in Quebec. Baltimore, Maryland. 18:39 left in the first period. We're going to get a face-off. Boom. Align your streams with me. What's up, Hayden? Oh, we had a goal. Oh, my God. Adam Henrique scores literally right away. Well, this is a bad sign, folks. You know what happens when the Oilers score first? That's right. They lose. Oh, it looks wet in Edmonton. Oh, my God. Has it been raining all day? Wow. Diane Sears dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Clock check. It's a goal, baby. And by the way, the Oilers have some new lines today, and we'll go through those in a second. But damn, let's have another look at that. Great pass by Connor Brown to Adam Henrique on a line, the new look line with Evander Kane. It's Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, and Draisaitl, Kapanen, Kane, Henrique, Brown, Frederick, Janmark, Perry. Interesting. Corey Perry demoted to the fourth line despite scoring 2 in the last game. And they're like, hey, man, your birthday's coming up. Why don't you play less time? Friggin' Oilers, dude. Friggin' Oilers. You just got to love it. They're just like that. Steeson Schiller, I love this don't score first series. I know, it's crazy, right? Just nuts. Life Olmstead says, thoughts on Ken Holland of the Kings? Yes. If you guys didn't hear today, Ken Holland is the new general manager of the Los Angeles Kings. And my thoughts are that his last couple of times through the NHL have been chaotic. He did ultimately get to the Stanley Cup final with the Oilers. However, I would say that the issue he faces in LA is that he doesn't have Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid to build around. And they're at a bit of a crossroads. Don't know what LA is going to do. It's probably, it's still a 105-point team. And it's a great place to live. You're not going to have trouble signing too many free agents, although the taxes are quote unquote high. It's still California. I don't know. I think Kenny. Let's put it this way: if Kenny was the GM of my team, and no disrespect to Kenny, I am not a huge. I wouldn't feel great. I think he's got dated views on hockey. Is that fair? Here we go. Edmonton Oilers turn it around. Here comes Connor McDavid. He's going to get a shot. Almost tipped in by Hyman. Hyman gets pushed over by Aiden Hill because Hyman bumped him. I respect Aiden Hill for that. I respect that. Francois Lebel is Mishmash on the wing. Mishmash didn't make the lineup tonight, Francois Lebel, but I can tell you watched the show today, and I appreciate you for that. Okay, we'll get a time check in there. I know we're asking for it. I will get you that. Yanni Havisto, Adam, you're not allowed to be tired. It's 4:56 a.m. in Finland. I know. I only slept like 3-4 hours last night. It's been a real long day of podcasting, and I took my mom out for Mother's Day dinner. And so I didn't have time for a nap in between, so I'm a little bit tired, but it was all worth it. 17-12 left in the first. Already been a pretty exciting period. The Oilers fans are yelling, Aiden, Aiden, Aiden. And you know what? I think the Oilers are feeling themselves tonight. There's confidence in those skates. Yes. Hayden asked, have I ever got recognized when I was with my mom? Yes. Yes, I have. And it's mostly for hockey stuff. And what's hilarious about hockey guys is they don't know who my mom is. So that's funny. I always enjoy that. Joe Perez, shout out to Marilyn. Happy Mother's Day to Canada's mom. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you. Maple Lodge Investigation says McDavid is going to get goals 3 and 4 tonight. Are you betting on that? Are you putting money on that? The Freak Show says, Adam, please no yawning. I've been up for 20 hours and there's no AC in my apartment. 85 degrees in here. I'm dying. Oh my God. Open the windows. Get a cross breeze going. What's going on in there? By the way, Toronto got up to like 25 degrees today. It was gorgeous. But as soon as that sun went down, it got a lot colder, a lot faster. We're still not quite in the summer yet. Not quite there. In Toronto in the summer, it gets real hot. McDiesel says, we got a one-man team with Connor Brown. Well, it helps when his body isn't beat up and torn apart. Murgle Schmurgle, thanks to Stephen Adam, I know who Vernon Krause is because my eyes are glued to the Atlantic expansion news. You did this to me. Well, Murgle Schmurgle, you can be our very first Atlanta whatever's fan at STPN. Noted first one. Marquette, we get into the hundreds here in Texas. I know, you do. Whoa. 16-14 left in the first period for anybody wondering. And Edmonton has 5 shots to start the game, and it's less than 4 minutes in. It feels good. Feels like that's a good thing, especially for the Oilers who are good at scoring. Yanni Havisto with a very good question. Is Mark Stone playing tonight? Yes, he is. I'll go through the Vegas lines right now. Barbashev, Eichel, Stone, Olofsson, Hurdle, Dorofeev, Howden, Carlson, Smith, Pearson, Waugh, and Kolasar. We were debating it the other day. I don't know if you guys saw Thomas Hurdle. Actually, it wasn't the other day. It was today. It just feels like the other day. Thomas Hurdle tried to break his stick and ended up smacking his trainer in the head, like the athletic trainer for the Vegas Golden Knights, and gave him like a wicked gash down the side of his head. And so my question was, okay, if we got a tussle, we got a bunch of people grabbing collars, and they're just going to grab each other. A lot of hugging. Oh, Frederick is punching with the glove on, and now Haig is like, yeah, no, if you're going to punch me with the glove on, I'm taking the gloves off, and you're going to get this. This is our first fight, by the way. Hayden, what was the stat? This is the first fight since mid-April in the NHL. First fight since April 15th in the entire NHL. Can you guys believe that? Even the Wilson Anderson bench thing wasn't really a brawl. It was more of a grappling match, and neither received fighting majors. So Frederick and Haig break the streak. It was almost a month between fights in the NHL. How about that? All right. Super chats. SLS. Adam, you forgot about the Panthers mascot earlier today, Stanley C. Panther. But he's not Victor E. Rat or Victor E. Green. I can't believe we have two Victor E's. We got to stop this. Echo Charlie says, snack funds. Thanks for burning the midnight oil for us, Adam. I'm a Leafs fan, but always enjoy your streams. Well, thank you, Echo Charlie. Appreciate you. Thank you for dropping that super chat. That's extremely generous. And you know how much we appreciate you guys. Echo Charlie and SLS, thank you so much. I think Nick Haig wins that fight, by the way, right? Like Trent Frederick starts it. Does Trent Frederick start, or does Janmark start it by tripping Aiden Hill? Which is just such a rat move, which you got to love Janmark for. Look at Haig, just filled him in. And I have to be honest with you, Trent Frederick started throwing him with the gloves on. And you don't do that shit, right? Like, if there was a time to use an So, yeah, just Frederick gets it, right? Yeah, so the extra 2 to Edmonton because of Janmark. See, I feel like Frederick should have probably got an instigator there. I know they're not going to double up on the penalties, but if we were calling the game as it should be called, Trent Frederick threw a punch with his glove on. That's starting a fight, is it not? By the way, Haig's got to go off because he's bleeding. Probably got to change his jersey too. I'm pretty sure you can't play with a bloody jersey. SLS, also non-NHL. Your reaction to the Mavs getting the first pick after trading Luka, NBA rigged? Rigged? You know what? Like I said, I didn't even know that. It was the draft lottery tonight for the NBA. I did not watch the Caps and Canes. I was out with my mother for Mother's Day. I do not know about the NBA or anything. I am completely disconnected. It's funny. You turn off your phone for like 4 hours in the evening and you miss the entire world in sports. It's crazy. You can't turn off your phone at night. You can do it before 10 a.m. You can do it after 1 a.m. That's it. Aaliyah T says, looks like we got a Wes McCauley tonight. Is that who's actually reffing? I haven't even checked scouting the refs. Hayden filled me in on the Caps game. Boy, maybe we misjudged the Caps. Maybe they're, quote, actually bad. Yeah, it is Wes McCauley. Wes McCauley and TJ Luxmore tonight. I'm glad he's your problem, Edmonton and Vegas. That's all I'm going to say. 14:31 left, 1:06 left on this Vegas power play, and basically nothing doing. Oilers doing a great job killing. It's just rung around. They're going to get a change. Like, really aggressive penalty kill from the Oilers there. I do think Vegas was doing that to them a little bit on their power play, and I think it works for both sides here. It's a nice adjustment by the Oilers, who were not, I think, aggressive enough last game. 14:02, 14:01, 14 minutes exactly left in the first. Puck skirts out again. Hanifin back to get it. Oh, we might have a break here. 3 Vegas Golden Knights, and they still can't stop Connor McDavid from at least getting a weak backhand off. As I told you, in 33 career playoff games after a loss, Connor McDavid has 63 points. So I would expect some points tonight. I'd bet the points. I might even bet the over on McDavid points. Oh, here we go, Barbashev. Oh, Stuart Skinner stands tall, my babies. Look at that. Good for Stuart Skinner. He kind of needed that. Let's be honest. Archaeology, I have got to bring up the stats he was tweeting about today. Oh, wide open. Skinner again. Big save. Oilers probably shouldn't do that to Skinner too often. Connor Brown. Oh, what a setup. Aiden Hill with a big save. There's Bouchard getting the puck back up. Draisaitl this time. Is it Brown or is it Draisaitl? Hard to tell. 28 and 29. Oh, big monster hit by Kapanen there. Listen, if he wants to stay in the lineup. Oh, another big hit. He's out there to kill. Oh, here comes Draisaitl. Great move. Is he going to shoot? Oh, he should have shot. I think sometimes Leon needs to be a little bit more Michael Jordan about that. You get an open look, you shoot. That is the third big hit that Kasperi Kapanen has thrown in this game. Damn, dude. Damn. Let me pull this stat out, by the way. Archaeology says, to give all fairness to Skinner, he had basically Skinner over the last 30 years has the second worst save percentage of any goalie who has played 25 games or more. Oh, my God. Oh, Aiden Hill just chopped Zach Hyman in the back. That's the second time this game that these two have run into each other. Oh, baby, we're going to have a game tonight. Did you see that, by the way? Did you see him just go whack? Refs all saw it. Wes ain't calling that. I'm sure that didn't feel good either. Like, those goalie sticks are heavy. These goalies are strong. I don't think that feels good on your backbone. Played him like a xylophone. By the way, I'll give you these Skinner stats in just a second here, but the play is just too damn exciting. Thank God this isn't the Caps and Kane series. Can you friggin' imagine? By the way, I saw the live stream tonight of Heat Daddy just sleeping through the Caps Canes, and man, I've never related to something so hard in my life. Like, Hayden says he had 87,000 people watching. That's friggin' hilarious, and it's true. That series sucks, man. And everybody was like, oh, don't be so hard on that series, man. What are you talking about? Dude, watch it. It's awful. And I'm glad I didn't watch it tonight. I'll just check out the highlights, which I'm sure there are 3. So all the goalies in the last 30 years that have played 25 games in the playoffs, only Dan Kluche beats Stuart Skinner in terms of save percentage, which is pretty bad. Yeah. If you drop it to 20 games played, Skinner is 86th out of 87 goalies. That's bonkers. They also dropped it to 15 games played, and Stuart Skinner is still in the bottom 5 behind Sean Burks and in front of Kerry Lettinen, Linus Ullmark, and Dan Kluche. That is friggin' crazy. You have Connor McDavid in your lineup, and you don't upgrade that. That's bad. Ugly. How ugly is this game going to get? Not ugly, a little ugly, very ugly. I'm going to say a little ugly. I'm going to say there's going to be some hacking and slashing. And I missed some super chats in there, guys, so I'm going to come back to you. Oh, another big hit. Wes Richard dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Wes, you rock, buddy. Thanks so much for joining the stream. You know I love you. Oh, Skinner with a big save. Stacks the pads. Vegas trying to dig it out. Corey Perry there to be the worm. Bouchard, Perry, Henrique, Nurse, Smith, Carlson, Theodore, Howden, McNabb. And there's Evander Kane. Zach Crozier, first time catching his stream. Go Oilers. Zach, welcome to the stream, buddy. It's going to be a fun time tonight. This is a great game. Corey Perry, who, by the way, is not wearing a helmet, needs to get off the ice. Corey Perry, 40 years old on Friday. 40. J-Rock. Lose lineman. Sorry, lose one forever. Fake puck drops or linesman. I don't want people losing their jobs, so just drop the fake puck drops. Yeah, did you see the Aiden Hill thing? Nice slash on the booty. Nice slash on the booty. So, by the way, that's interesting. The net cam for Stuart Skinner shows that he very definitely was not in control of the puck when they blew that whistle, and the Oilers tried to like dig it back under him or bury it under him, and the ref called it anyway because he obviously couldn't see it. But when you know that, you don't blame Vegas so much for trying to get their sticks in there. Jared says opinion on only the 100th assist winger in the NHL. Sorry, opinion on the only 100 assist winger in the NHL not making the quarter century team. The NHL really hates him, don't they? I don't know who. I saw the quarter century thing come up. Guys, you tell me if I'm wrong. I didn't bring it up on the show today because I was like, there are way more important things to talk about, and I just don't care. Should I care? Tell me about that. Do you care about the quarter century team? Because Jared, I'm sure you're upset, but I don't even know what it's about. Who is he? Who is Jared speaking to? Who's speaking about? Oh, it's Kucherov. Yeah, well, Kucherov should be on it. They had Patrick Waugh, and he only played 3 this century. This is why I hate lists like this because, like, I love it for the players. Obviously, they want to they want to honor them and stuff like that. But like when they did the top 100 hockey players of all time, I believe they put Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane on it, or is it Duncan Keith? And so it was Kane, Toews, and Keith that made it. And I have and Evgeny Malkin was not on it. Now, if you look at what's happened since that 100-year team was announced, I can tell you straight up that basically nobody in hockey would have any of those 3 guys on that list. Not a single person. Basically everybody in hockey would have Malkin on that list. And 923 Oiler power play. Brett Howden got a cross-checking penalty in that melee. Like, it's just I remember Steve saying, he's like, at that point, Patrick Kane, he's like, so Patrick Kane has not even scored 30 goals in a season 2 times. I think he was like, oh man, 2-time 30 goal scorer Patrick Kane's got to be on that list. At the time, he'd only scored 30 goals 2 times. And it was sort of put things into perspective. It was like, that's so I guess I hate those lists because I always find it's like, we're just arguing about stuff. It's like, this is clearly wrong. And we're going to argue about this. And it's annoying. And nothing's going to change. And by the way, Duncan Keith, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, all great careers. I would put none of them in the top 100 of all time. None of them. No disrespect. But you look at is Kane the highest scoring American of all time? I thought it was Mullen. Maybe it's Kane. Maybe I'm wrong on Kane. Maybe you guys can correct me. Maybe I'm a big stupid dumb doofus head. I certainly wouldn't put Keith and Toews in there, and I think they're spectacular Hall of Famers. Third all time for Americans is so I would put here we go. Here we go. 55 seconds left of this power play. Shot by McDavid, turned aside and dumped by the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know. See, this is where I'm thinking out loud. Is Modano not on that list? Hayden, is Modano in the top 100? I think he is. Yeah. Modano rules. It's also hard to make those calls while people are still playing, right? You can have an incredible 10 years and then fall off, and then you kind of feel a little mediocre after that. So anyway, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Jared says, are lists like that purely for engagement? Absolutely. They're meant to create marketing opportunities for the NHL. Here we go. Draisaitl with a shot. Oh, he just missed. If he put that on, I feel like he could have snuck that under Aiden Hill's blocker. Absolutely. They are there for engagement farming. And God bless them, right? It creates a lot of things. I just there's so many listicles out there. Like, I'm from the BuzzFeed generation. Here's the top 10 things you didn't know about your freckles. Like, I'm so done with it. Wes Richard, hey Adam, My Matthews doll came today for my trivia win. Just want to say a big thank you to all at STPN and much love to all you guys. And we have a goal. And Evander Kane wants to fight Aiden Hill. And they won't let him. Oh, man. Aiden Hill is out for blood tonight. Oh, here we go. We're going to have another fight. McNabb's got, I think, Hyman. And Hyman and Hill have been going at it all night. Theodore and McNabb have Hyman in a brotherly choke. Oh, is that Hyman? No. Is that Yamark? I think that's Hyman. Yeah, you don't need to fight right now. You know Kolazar would go. Kolazar would for sure go with Kane, with Nurse. Sorry, what's that? Hayden asked if there's anybody in the Oilers that can chuck him. I think Nurse can chuck him. I think Yanmark in a pinch can, but I don't think he's a big boy. Oh, Hyman's celebrating at the bench, as he should. They scored a goal. These new look lines, Chuck Knobloch, Chris Knobloch, seems to have lit a fire under the Oilers' butts. Look at them go. They're just winning every battle and also embarrassing the like Vegas. Like it's not like, oh wow. So it was Henrique with another goal. Yeah, I feel like he likes these line changes. Nice little play here, too. I don't know how in tight he's able to get it through his legs like that, get it underneath Aiden Hill's blocker. That's unreal. And then Evander Kane just falls on Aiden Hill, but he was pushed by McNabb. Yeah. And that's not goaltender interference. Yeah, Hill's pissed. But to be honest with you, he should be mad at McNabb. So Kane is going to get a charging penalty? Hayden said, yeah, there's Dominic Ducharme on the bench. So why is there a power play? I don't understand how there's a power play for Vegas here. I want to have a look at, I want another angle on that goal from behind because it feels like Evander Kane, for that to be charging, he has to take, here, watch Evander Kane. I know the goal goes in, but watch Kane. Kane's up the top there. He gets pushed by McNabb. Why is he getting a charging call? He does not a single stride. Yo, that's that's such a bad call. That's such a friggin' Wes McCauley call. I hate games refed by this man. Oh, he's funny on the microphone. These guys stink. Go back and look at it. That's a terrible friggin' call. And I'm not saying Vegas doesn't deserve a penalty to go their way one of these days, but that ain't it, man. Nobody wants that. That's crazy. That is a crazy shit call. Sorry. Total shit. Apologies to any kids listening. Wow. Charging? I mean, even if you'd given Evander Kane a roughing call there, you'd be like, I guess. But even then, he was pushed. All right. Well, Oilers power play, PK back on it. They looked really good on the first one, super aggressive. Watch how quickly they're making Vegas make decisions. This is what you do. This is how you get a team to make mistakes. Florida did it to the Leafs last night, and Vegas is having it done to them tonight. Kulak with a great block there. You know, this is what you got to do. In the playoffs, guys are tired. They're moving slowly. Their decision-making isn't as sharp. They're playing every other night, and they're pooped, and they're on the road. These guys are not sleeping in their own beds. Their routine is not good. And what you do is you skate right at them. You skate right at them. You charge. The Oilers have the speed to do this. And all you got to do is make a bad decision. And look at that. Even NHL players mess up. Super chat from Alex is asking, do I think it's the Oilers' year? Do you think this is the year the Oilers do it? I mean, okay, here's my question. Other than Dallas, who stops them? Florida doesn't stop them if Florida beats the Leafs. The Leafs would have a really hard time with this team, although I think they'd be a good matchup. I don't know if Washington's going to make it. And Carolina would be interesting as a Stanley Cup opponent because they play strong defense. But again, The Oilers offense is so overwhelming. I think the only impediment to the Oilers making the finals is it's two. It's going to be the play of Stuart Skinner, and it's going to be all Kapanen almost had one there. That's vintage Kasperi Kapanen. Great scoring opportunity and misses the net. As a Leaf fan, I know this man well. I rooted for him for many years, and I'll tell you, he is a king of missing the net. But when he's fired up and he's engaged, he's awesome. Also, really fast. Yeah. So what was I saying? I think the Oilers' biggest challenge is going to be Stuart Skinner's goaltending from night to night, and your good friends, the Dallas Stars. So I can't definitively say yes, but they sure look friggin' good, don't they? Hawks 23. Well, this game certainly has gone west. Boom. I respect and appreciate that joke. Please keep them coming. Joe Perez. Oh my God. Imagine if the Hurricanes win the cup. Jeesh. Lamest outcome. That would be super lame. These playoffs have been so good. And do you know if the Canes win the cup? Oh, Kapanen's hurt. What happened? Hayden wants to know what happens if Rantanen starts shooting on Skinner. There's going to be some goals. Dustin Tyson, is there more unlikable team than Vegas? Yeah, the Florida Panthers, man. I don't care. Like, Boston fans know it. Tampa fans know it. Anybody that has played the Florida Panthers in the playoffs, including Carolina Hurricanes fans, Oilers fans should hate the Panthers. Look at what Matthew Tkachuk stood at center ice and said, Calgary, I did it for you. Edmonton fans should friggin' hate the Panthers, man. J-Rock, watching your streams is so gripping. Gripper Nation, baby. Hashtag Gripper Nation for life. Benjamin Johnson, I hate the Oilers more than I hate the Panthers. Ben, who do you cheer for, bud? Are you Canadians fan? Are you a Canucks fan? One thing I noticed in Calgary when I moved there, the Canucks were in the Stanley Cup final. And it really struck me when I moved out there because I went to a bar to watch one of the finals games, and everybody in the bar was cheering for Boston. Because Calgary fans were like, listen, if it can't be us, it definitely can't be them. Screw those guys. Eshan, Adam, let's see those little piggies. No. Guys, especially with the amount of likes here, we got a pathetic amount of likes in this chat. 1,000 likes, and you might catch a gripper or two. But we have 779 people watching and only 224 likes. And you want me to give those away for free on the main? Kapanen is back. Aiden says, how many Canadian Stanley Cup teams have I seen in my lifetime? Calgary won the year that I was born, 88. 89 was... No, Edmonton won the year I was born. And I was born just before the Oilers because that was April. So Gretzky was still on the Oilers, and then he was traded a few months later. Calgary won in 89? Yes, Lanny McDonald. And then Edmonton won again in 90. And then Montreal. So I have seen 4. Hayden, I don't think you've seen any. So Hayden has never seen a Canadian Stanley Cup in his entire life, even as a baby, which makes me feel so damn old, Hayden. So old. Wow, you've only seen 3 in the final in your life. Yeah, Ottawa. Yeah, Ottawa, Edmonton twice. Montreal. Calgary in 04, right. Yes. King of Dragons. Adam, what do you think is stopping the rest of the league from playing like the Panthers since the NHL allows it? Just like the Bruins. By the way, somebody just flicked the puck at Braden McNabb. Kapanen is going off for something. Knobloch does not like it. Whatever it is, it sounds like it's an even up call. Oh, yeah. So he slashes. So McNabb plays a little fast and loose with his stick. Look. Yeah, but Kapanen is going to you're going to get a penalty for that every time. It sucks. It's stupid. I hate it. But McNabb drew that, and he drew it perfectly. J-Rock, Hayden certainly hasn't seen Minnesota win a cup. Hayden, are you going to get into the chat? You going to take that from J-Rock? No, he's in there. He's in there. Damn, dude. By the way, in case you didn't know, Hayden, Alex says we are all secretly here for Hayden, right? Secretly, I thought that was open. Vegas back on the power play for the third time this period. Hey, the Leafs took 4 penalties in their first period, and they didn't look nearly as good as the Oilers do. The Oilers look incredible. The Leafs look like dog shite. But they'll be better tomorrow. Or, sorry, Wednesday. You have bad games. Life happens. 2:22 left in the first period. 1:24 on this power play. Shot off the post for Jack Eichel and out. Jack Eichel has looked so dangerous this series. He's not converting, though. He's getting assists, but he's not getting the goals. Caleb Pfluger. Again, as a Shark fan, I only dislike Florida because they're like Vegas. Respectfully, Vegas can lose forever, along with LA. Well, Caleb, you should be thrilled that Ken Holland is now the general manager of the LA Kings because it's about to get crazy. If I was, Steve always says this, and I think he's right. You have to identify who the worst general manager is in the league and then call them all the time. And if I were trying to make a trade, trying to improve my team, I'd be calling Barry Trotz. I'd be calling Ken Holland. Who else would we call? Hey, if Mark Bergevin becomes general manager of the Islanders, he's about to be interviewed by them, apparently. Arthur Staple's been reporting that. I give Bergevin a call. I bet you guys, hey, I bet you don't like those guys like Barzal who like to score goals, right? Yeah, that's dumb and stupid. How about you give them to the Leafs for nothing? I give you a 5th-round pick. Edmonton clears the puck. In the chat, Justin is saying, Justin put up a poll. Do the Minnesota Wild get the respect they deserve? And the answers are yes or the Who. The Who? Who? And by the way, the Who is at about 75% right now. Don't get fooled again, Hayden. Deep cut. Dustin Tyson, 2011 still hurts to think about. Man, I can't even imagine. Listen, at least Oilers and Canucks fans have a Game 7 in the finals to think about. As a Leaf fan, I can't relate. My memories are far more embarrassing. At least everybody looks at you and goes, that was really hard fought and you almost had it. With us, it's like, you were never close. You weren't close. Might be this year, though. I think they play a lot better this year. Kapanen back on the ice. 45 seconds left in the first. I got to tell you guys, I was feeling a little tired coming in here tonight, but this game has re-energized me. This game it's awesome. $30 seconds to go. Vegas pressing. Henrique on hat-trick watch here. Gets the puck to McDavid. Draisaitl almost scored there. Draisaitl seems a bit snake-bitten, to be honest. Great play by Henrique to those two guys. Unless that was Hyman. Oh, Hyman just got... Is it Hyman? I still can't tell. It should be Hyman. Oh, it is Hyman. Hyman is just getting crunched right now. Oh, look, he just got punched in the head, too, by Pietrangelo. Yo, credit to Zach Hyman for pissing off the Vegas Golden Knights that much that they're after him. Henrique's got 2 goals. Connor McDavid and Leon are on the ice. And who does Vegas care about? Zach Hyman. You can't teach that shit, man. You cannot. That's how you get a team off their game. Great save there by Aiden Hill. That is how you piss them off. Good work. Sedin Magic 15, considering the Canucks didn't score in their game 7, Bruins won 4-0, I prefer not to think about it. Ethan says, Alex Pietrangelo can eat a bag of ducks. It would be a long meal. A whole bag of ducks. Pretzel Hunt, when will AI allow for Donkey Kong head overlays on our hockey broadcast? The future can't come soon enough. Is that what you want from me? You want me to be wearing the Donkey Kong head, or do you want the guys on Sportsnet to be wearing the Donkey Kong head? Burps McGurps, current cup and or Conn Smythe favorite. Conn Smythe favorite, Mikko Rantanen. Pretty obvious, right? Mikko Rantanen has had the best playoffs so far. If you'd asked me at the end of the first round, I would have been like Mikko Rantanen with a little acknowledgement for Nathan McKinnon. Mikko Rantanen, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup. Dallas or Edmonton is the best answer I can give you. I don't believe that the Panthers are healthy enough, even if they do get past the Leafs. I don't think they are going to get past the Leafs. I think the Leafs are going to win that series. I honestly do. I think the Panthers are playing. They played well the last couple of games, but again, that's like the best that they have. And the Leafs played a total dog shit game 4. I think the Leafs are going to win that series. If they show up, they'll win. Canes and the Canes are hard to read, man. I don't know, Hayden. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, but the Canes are like killing the Caps. But there have been people all year saying, "Yeah, I don't believe the Caps hype. It's not. They're not actually that good." So that's why I say Dallas or Edmonton. Alex, okay. Hard hitting question: is it worth it to keep Hyman in my keepers league next season? Yes, I think so. Because if you sell him now, I think you're selling him at a loss. I don't know that he's ever going to be a 50-goal guy again. But what did he get this year? Zach Hyman. He had 27. So I think he only had 44 points this year, which is super weird. I think Zach Hyman is good for 55, 60 points and 30 plus goals next year. So I would keep him. J Rock, Dry hasn't scored since the Van game Adam made up. I didn't make that game up. He assisted on it, but he made that play happen. Crumb Gaming. Adam is the type of guy to play as Shy Guy in Mario Kart. Yo, Shy Guy is completely underrated. Don't sleep on Shy Guy. I haven't played Mario Kart since like Wii. But I wasn't the Ghost. Like, wasn't Shy Guy like one of the best ones? He was killer in Mario Tennis. Shy Guy's he had a crazy curve to his thing. He was killer. Scotty Patterson, Shy Guy gang. Alex says Shy Guy is super underrated. Hawks 23, do not talk crap about my guy Shy Guy. Yo, Shy Guy clan out here because I am 100% in on that. Jared, I can't handle the way Adam says Mario. Do you want me to say Mario? Mario. I don't know why do we say Mario here? Like we call him Mario Lemieux. Is it Mario? Yadaki Toronto, Wario for life. The thing with Wario is he's slow. He's tough, but he's slow. I think Waluigi, underrated as well, with his big goofy arms. He's fast. Jack Wolf said Shy Guy was my back if I couldn't get towed. Tyler Durden, Waluigi gang. 24 player Mario Kart on Switch 2. Guys, do you know what I would do? Honestly, you know what I'm going to do? Here's how I'm going to get a Switch 2. Okay. I am going to get a Switch 2 through the business, and we are going to stream Mario Kart. What do you think? This summer, you and me. And if you guys get one, then we can all play together, and we could just do Mario Kart tournaments. Mario Kart tournaments. Sorry, Mario Kart. Are you Francis LaBelle? Francois LaBelle. Francois LaBelle was born in 65. So I saw Canadian Cups in 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 71, 76 to 79. Oilers 84, 85, 86 Habs, 87, 88, 89 Flames, 90s Oilers, 93 Habitants. Wow, 19 Canadian Cups. It just goes to show. Yeah, would you guys? So like, I know we do these live streams and during the regular season, but I was thinking like, August we usually take off because we're exhausted. But because we're working through July anyway, what would you say to like a Tuesday night Mario Kart night or something like that? If I can convince Steve and Jesse. Hayden, would you be down for that? Oh, Francois LaBelle missed the 73 Habs in there. Well, not to be forgotten between those two Philadelphia Cups. Hayden would be down for that. Justin, would you be down for that? I feel like Justin would actually be like, he'd probably win. Justin is a underrated video game player. Hawks 23, out of curiosity, would you be down for a Premier League-esque promotion relegation style table with other teams from North American leagues involved? Absolutely. I would, because it would prevent. The only way to truly prevent tanking is that. The other way to prevent tanking is the team with the most points after elimination from the playoffs wins the first overall pick. That is how you prevent tanking. So I would be down with relegation, but it'll never happen. It'll never happen. So you guys are all down for Mario Kart streams, eh? Crumb Gaming, Steve Dangle, the type of fella to say yellow when answering the phone. You know who does? Jesse Blake. No matter how tired, he goes, yellow, yellow. He literally says that every time. Okay, Hayden, what's our what's our clip? How long is this clip? Do you guys want to see a guy in emotional peril? Steve Dangle, 8 minutes of Steve Dangle losing it last night during the Leafs and Panthers game, and I will see you for the start of second period.
Shout out to all the moms. Say hi to your mom. Tell your mom I said hi on this Mother's Day. Oh my God, really? Are you serious? Ah! The Leafs took 4 minor penalties this first period. One timer, they score. Carter Verhaeghe. Like, what do you want? What do you want? You play with fire, you're going to get burned. 4 penalties. You took 4 penalties to none in the first period. What are you, stupid? Good Lord. Just a miserable sack of garbage period. Wylde has been playing so damn well. Help him out. Good Lord. The Panthers are the first team in the National Hockey League with a 4 power play first period in the playoffs. Everything happens to the Leafs. Everything. Kulikov holding on to his stick. Brutal. Here come the Panthers. What a joke. Stopped by Wylde. They have abandoned this young man. Good Lord. The best thing I can say about the first period of Game 4 is that it's over and the Leafs are only down 1. What a miserable pile of garbage. 4 power plays surrendered to none. Panthers, breakaway. Shot, stop by Wylde. One timer, stop by Wylde. Shot, stop by Wylde. Matthews taken down. And they're going to call it. Way! Yeah! The Leafs are getting a power play! Yeah! On. Whoa! Deflected high by Wylde. Barkov! Stopped by Wylde! And covered up. Joseph Woll is the first, second, and third star of this game so far. Here he is. Shot! What a glove save by Wylde. Not an ideal start to the power play. Another one. Stopped by Wylde. There's a rebound. Good Lord! And the Leafs take a penalty. You guys are awful! So it's going to be 57 seconds of 4-on-4. Marner to the box. And it'd be nice if the Leafs scored on this 4-on-4 because they're about to be shorthanded for the 5th time. Wylde has to make a save. Marchand with it. Stop by Wylde. There's going to be a face-off. Wylde with a stop. Shot! Blockered away by Wylde. Rodriguez with a move. Shot. Stop by Wylde. People are going to start thinking my name is Stop by Wylde. I'm just a Pokemon named Stop by Wylde. Barkov on. Stop by Wylde. McCabe up the ice for Willie. He's got a partial break. Forsling on him. Stop by Bobrovsky. It was a weak attempt. Pokemon name, Wool. Evolution name, Wooler. Brick type. And another penalty drawn by Matthews. Yep, doesn't. That's his second of the night. He's been on the penalty kill all night. I hope he scores here so everyone shuts up. Sam Reinhart gets the shot. Wool, rebound. Wool with another shorthanded save. His, like, what, fourth or fifth of the night? Jesus! The Leafs still only down 1-0. Bennett loves assaulting Leafs goalies. He hits Ekman-Larsson over Wool, and Wool was hurt. Marner took an elbow to the head in the second. Are there going to be any penalties here? Oh, it was an accident. Yeah, Drew reminded me it was an accident. Sam Bennett's such a piece of trash, dude. Like, nothing? And, like, Benoit took him down in front of the ref. Nothing. Nothing for either man. Good job. Good job, everyone. Stopped by Mikkola. Mikkola stopped by Wool. On. Oh, Wool covers it up. What more does Wool have to do? Help the guy! Deflected. Wool stops it. There's a rebound in front. Marchand nearly jams that home. Oh, nice! Ah! Stopped by Bob. Oh, Rodriguez was taken down behind the play, and now it's a problem. And he's down. Ekman-Larsson hit him. I got to take another look at it. The trainer is on the ice. OEL might get 5. Yeah, I don't think he got... You didn't get him in the head, but, like, it's bad. Here, we now go live to Anthony Stolarz to see what he thinks. Oh, he's in Toronto recovering from a concussion. On. Blockered away by Wool. Nice! It's going to get a breakaway! Nice! Nice! Oh, wide! Oh! This is going to be a 2-on-1 for Florida. Tanev is back. Bennett scores. $7:50 to go in the third. 2-0 Panthers. And Wool is on an island alone. You know what? I see like 1,500 more people in here than there were last time. Click like, you sick freaks. Kulikov, stopped by Wool. Leafs just throwing hits. Matthews takes out Barkov, and the Panthers jump Domi. They are hammering him. Haymakers. Marchand throwing punches, bare knuckle at McMahon. And throwing him at OEL. Kachuk's going, I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you. And he's saying it to Willie or Matthews. And he's saying elbow. Matthew, you can't skate. He's hurt. He's staying alive in this series. He's great. Standing stock still. He's still got a shot. Yeah, he already did that to McMahon. And look at McMahon, alive and well. They're chanting USA. You can't let these fans feel good. You have to win this series, boys. Jesus Lord. Good Lord, boys. 4 penalties. 4 penalties in the first period. And you can't blame this on the refs. And then you got your power plays, and what did you do with them? Nothing. They hit you, and what did you do? A little bit. The Panthers shut the Leafs down so bad in Florida. So bad. You have 2 days to recover and lick your wounds here, which is good because the team looks exhausted and trash. There's rumors about an illness running through the locker room. Theories and rumors. Who knows if they're true? I kind of hope it is. Otherwise, they just suck. Are you sick? Oh, good. God, I thought I thought you just suck. Well, best thing I can say about that game is it's over and the series is tied.
All right, let's get back for the second period. Stop by Will. Hayden just explained to me that we posted that clip today, and I didn't see it. But I do think that is probably basically how the game went last night. It was stop by Wall, stop by Wall. Oh, damn, you missed that one. Game over. Pooh. Joe Perez, USA chants are actually disrespectful considering the tense political climate. I think that's the point. It's supposed to be disrespectful. Uh, Also, I don't really care. Like, if Florida wants to yell, um, uh, if Florida wants to yell USA, USA, like that does not bother me. I don't care. I literally don't care. I feel like as a fan, you got to expect fans to be fans. And whatever a fan base can do to get on the other fan base's nerves. Like I feel like Leaf fans shouldn't be like, "Oh, I'm so offended." You got to hit back. You got to be like, "Man, trailer park." You can do like be insulting. Be totally insulting. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want to do. And I'm not saying that everybody from Florida lives in a trailer park, obviously. But the point is, it's supposed to be like a little bit of a jab, like get 'em on that. You could say, I don't know, what can you say? What can you say about Florida? Florida kind of rocks though. Like it's a beautiful place to live, and um, it's fun, and all the cool movies are set there, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is set there. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Joe Perez, Florida man. I love that. Like that's what you got to do. You gotta like, hey, here's something that we can make fun of Floridians for. I don't know. Just Ron DeSantis. Although Ron would probably take that as a compliment. Francois LaBelle, I beat the couch Saturday, but I'm off to bed. Francois, we appreciate you. We love you. Have a good sleep, my friend. Lindsay Hockey Fiend, I lived in Panama City, Florida for a year, and it was a prison sentence. Really? It was that bad? Oh, man. Yeah, I saw what the Florida owner, by the way, we've interviewed him. I did see what he said. It was bad. And some people shouldn't have social media. Tyler Durden, good news. Every day there is less of Florida. Yes, Florida is slowly sinking. And actually, when I was there a few years ago, I was listening to the radio, and it's hilarious because it's like all conservative radio. And they're like, climate change isn't real. But for some reason, we keep losing so much of our shoreline every single year, and the oceans are getting bigger. But it's definitely not climate change. It simply is not. But we're still going to have to do some conservation things, even though no. It's a weird thing to see them like twist themselves into it. Leaf Olp said, if you're going to troll, at least be creative. I know, you got to be creative. Listen, it's Florida. I don't expect them to be. Florida doesn't know anything about Canada. If you talk to snowbirds down there, they're all from Canada. But Floridians, they don't know shit about Canada. They can't chirp us properly. Now, we know a lot about Florida, especially being from Toronto. Oh, McDavid almost had a nice little opportunity there. I would say that we have the edge, but we're all too focused on being classy, which I don't understand. You can come up with some sick chants that are not like world-beating offensive, but would still be a nice little poke after the whistle. Jayu Wang says Edmonton plays like this, they will win the cup. Yeah, man, they're great. They're making Vegas look like nursery school. And you know what happens with Vegas? They lose this series. Vegas is going to do something goofy this offseason. Vegas is not down with a second round and out thing. Their management group is psycho. They are cutthroat, and they will start making crazy ass moves. You watch. They'll do something nuts. Hayden says, how could the Vegas Golden Knights possibly get better? So this is the thing. I don't know. I don't know how they get better, especially with what's available right now. But if this team loses in the second round, I can guarantee you there'll be some sort of weird ass trade next year where Vegas is like, oh, a superstar became available and we gave heaven and earth to get him. Luke Caldwell. Hey, Adam. Favorite hockey book? Ripper Nation. Favorite hockey book? Yes, Rants and Raves by Steve Dangle. Followed in second place, This Team is Ruining My Life by Steve Dangle. Rants and Raves gets the edge because the forward is just so much better in Rants and Raves than it is in the other one. I think Jeff Merrick did it for Steve's first book, which is very nice. Yeah, yeah. Favorite hockey book? I mean, like if we're going back to the classics, Hockey Sweater is a good one. Um, I read a bunch of like hockey chapter books when I was a kid. Like my parents used to buy me these hockey chapter books, and it'd be like preteen trying to get a girlfriend, and his best friend made the hockey team, but he didn't. What's he gonna do? And it's just like a story of like perseverance. Oh, he's gonna play really, maybe get onto the practice squad, and he might get into a game for the select team. You know, I loved those books, man. I loved those books. Did I ever read Bob Robert's autobiography? No. I read Berkey's. I've read a bunch. Is Robert's good? Okay. Hayden says his life is absolutely insane. I have to check that out. Okay, the whistle was blown there, and the Oiler threw it on the net anyway. Frederick and Haig, who already fought each other, are nose to nose again. They don't seem to be chucking them. Sophia says, "Did you read 1984?" Yes, I absolutely read 1984. And I have never forgotten reading 1984. That is a life-changing book if you've ever read it. Uh, I also read Brave New World. I don't know if you guys have read it, Brave New World. That is a very 1930s dystopian version of the world. And a lot of it is eerily weird in the sense that it turned out that way in certain countries. Oh! Wow. Oilers are just pressing like mad here, almost at 20 shots. And we're literally less than 3 minutes into the second period. This team is just unreal. They are not going to let that Riley Smith goal stand. They feel like they should have won this game, that last game. They feel like they should be winning game 4 tonight, and they are showing it. Oh, Hayden says Brave New World was an English class book for him. So 1984 was an English class book for me, along with To Kill a Mockingbird and what else did we read? Death of a Salesman, I never did. Oh, I did that stupid. What's that stupid book that everybody says is great and it's terrible? Uh, Not Lord of the Flies. No, this is the dumb one where the guy's like riding around town in a taxi cab, basically alienating all of his friends. What's that one? Where he's in New York. Um, Catcher in the Rye. It's Catcher in the Rye. What a stupid book. I know some people love that book. I think that book is just dumb. Oh, here's a maladjusted teenager being an asshole. One of the greatest literary works of our time. I know some people really like that. I know some people really like that. Animal Farm, I never read. I never read Animal Farm. I know, and you know what? You know what else is extremely mid? And I've said this before. The first Lord of the Rings book. Tolkien, as great of a world builder as he is way too much detail. Like, I don't need 100 pages on the damn Shire and what kind of weed they were smoking because they're smoking weed all the time in the Shire. I don't need to know that, man. Stephen Schiller, it's the annual Adam Hates Catcher in the Rye segment. I do hate it. I do hate it. I do. The Giver from Nick. The Giver is a great book. The Giver is a great book. The Giver is like, for me, one of the precursors to like the Hunger Games. AC says you'll hate Wheel of Time. So my wife's read a lot of the Wheel of Time novels because her one of her ex-boyfriends was like a big fantasy guy. He had like apparently had a Lord of the Rings tattoo and stuff. So when I met her and I told him like, yeah, I'm like really into Star Wars and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And so she's read Wheel of Time, but we haven't watched the TV show. And she said Wheel of Time is like really fantasy, but apparently they're very good stories. Listen, Lord of the Rings is a great story. It's an incredible, amazing story. It just starts off so boring. Storm Sea, Similarian for sure. Lore. I've heard that one is bonkers. Oh man, Skinner is standing tall tonight, and the Oilers are doing a really good thing. They're saying to Vegas, "How about you don't shoot on our bad goaltender?" Zach Hosier, are you watching Andor? You bet your ass I am. Episodes 7, 8, and 9 were the craziest thing I've ever seen in Star Wars. It was so bold and in your face and so perfect with what's going on in the States right now. It's crazy. I blown away. Absolutely blown away. Such great television. And television that isn't like sometimes we're like, oh, this movie matters so much. And you watch it and you're like, I guess. That one was like home run 10 out of 10. I don't know if Star Wars can possibly get better. And that's when Star Wars is at its best, Andor, man. So friggin' good. Marquette, have you read Of Mice and Men? No, but I need to. I need to. Guard of Life. Adam, coffee or tea? It's coffee tonight. I do like an orange pico, though. I'm a bit of a Tetley orange pico boy. For those who know. Bubble butt, we have healthcare. We have healthcare. Hey, you know what else we have? Dental care. We have teeth. I'm telling you, Toronto fans just need to feel themselves a little bit. We need to get some better chants going. Start sticking the Panthers with it. Chaz, yo, have you read any Ayn Rand? So, my wife has a copy of Atlas Shrugged sitting on her bookshelf, and I need to read it, and I haven't. But I feel like it's one of those books that you kind of have to read. So I will get to it. Right now, I'm actually reading the Saturday Night Live book, and it's freaking incredible, guys. You need to read that book. If you like entertainment at all, if you've ever watched Saturday Night Live ever, whether you love it or you hate it, you should read that book. It's so good. I'm also like a TV production nerd. Look what I do for a living. Oh, McDavid feathered one in there. Hyman is just doing all the nasty shit in front of the net, and it's working. They hate his guts tonight. Look at that steal. McDavid shot. Oh, it just goes a little bit wide. I think he was looking for a rebound there. Oh, there's been a collision with Hill. Is there a goaltender in? Oh, Hill's nets off. Okay. Hayden says, who's my all-time? Hey, Adam, don't read Ayn Rand. Okay. Listen, sometimes you need to read a book. Oh, Adam, if you hated Catcher in the Rye, you will detest Atlas Shrugged. Okay. Sometimes you have to read a book and hate it, but know that it is one of the biggest parts of our literary culture. Like, I recognize Catcher in the Rye has an enormous place, and that's a hot take that the book sucks. It's just my personal opinion. I feel like I need to read Atlas Shrugged just to read it, just to know. Colby Smith, love you guys and the channel from North Carolina. Hate seeing you and Steve call the Canes boring, but fortunately, Jesse Blake knows good hockey when he sees it. Picked us in 6. Hope to see you guys in the ECF. You know what, buddy? Colby, I would love a little rematch of 2002. I would love a little rematch, Colby. And listen, when we call you boring, it's not a disrespectful thing. And it ain't the fans in Carolina that are boring. Raleigh is a loud arena. But if you're telling me that your game looks like this game that I'm watching right now, which is absolutely spectacular and high event and completely nonsensical, they're just not the same. Carolina is going to boring themselves all the way to the final at this rate. They are. By the way, I love how many of you are like avid book readers. That makes me happy. Gripper Nation is intelligence, and I appreciate that. Ah. Luke Caldwell, I took your advice and picked up the Ken Dryden audiobook about Steve Monador. That man could read me anything, and it's fantastic. Guys, you want to read a great hockey book? Read that one. I don't. Ken Dryden didn't even know Steve Monador, and you might not remember Steve Monador, but Steve Monador was a fighter in the league, and concussions quite literally ruined his life. It's a sad story, but it's an interesting story, and I think if you love hockey, it's worth reading and really, really interesting. And Ken Dryden says at the beginning of the book, he wrote the book for one person and one person only. He didn't care if anybody else ever bought it. And the person he wrote it for was Gary Bettman. And Ken says that so Ken came on Agent Provocateur with Alan and I. Ken hates being interviewed, doesn't want to talk about his career, which is crazy because he has some of the most insane goaltending statistics you've ever seen in your life. Doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't care. He's bored. And Ken said, I wrote this book for one person only. It's Gary Bettman. And the story goes that Ken and Gary had a really, really good relationship. They were friends. They talked, as much as people talk. And Ken obviously was a big, general manager with the Toronto Maple Leafs in the late 90s. And after he wrote that book, he sent a copy of it to Gary Bettman. And do you know what Gary Bettman said? See how many of you heard the episode. Gary said nothing. Gary hasn't spoken to Ken since. The power of a book. I'm telling you. Learning languages, back to the top 100 thing. I was never a big Dale Howardchuk fan, but how is he not on the list? Yeah, I agree with that. I think he was overlooked a little bit because the two markets that he played in, Winnipeg and Buffalo, are, especially by the times, right? Like, you have to remember it's the 80s. Television market-wise, they were smaller. So you didn't get a lot of national Winnipeg Jets games. You didn't get a lot of national Buffalo Sabres games in the States. It's just not the way that it was, right? You're going to watch, if you're going to put a game on nationally in Canada in the 80s, it's Oilers, it's Flames, it's sometimes the Jets were really good in the 80s. Obviously Maple Leafs and Canadians. But yeah, I would say, and then in Buffalo, like, yeah, are you going to put a Buffalo game on, or are you going to put, did Howard Chuck play for, no, that was LaFontaine. He played for the Islanders. Like, are you going to put a Buffalo game on, or are you going to put a New York Rangers game on? Or a New York Islanders game on, or you know what I mean? I think that's why. SLS, sorry to change sports, Adam, but why does Ferrari keep messing things up? You know what? Good question. Hayden, I'm just hearing Hayden groan in my ear. He's so upset. He doesn't want to talk about it. He said, move along, next super chat. Why do they mess things up? Because they have inherent issues in their organization that they're still trying to iron out. And they don't make decisions fast enough. And they don't make intelligence decisions fast enough because they're too afraid. They need to get some confidence back. Wallman, point. Oh. They need to get some confidence back in their decision making, but they've been scarred by their own terrible decision making for the last few years. Oilers just playing shockingly good defense. I had no idea the Oilers could play defense like this. 8 shots in this entire game for Vegas. We're almost halfway through it. That's bonkers. This Vegas team is good. Really good. Division winning good. Connor Brown gets the puck around. Man, what a series he's having. Spectacular guy. Great person, great player. Sedin Magic 15. Betterman is Betterman. Bettman. Such a coward. Well, he doesn't agree for convenient reasons. Hawks 23. Oh, here we go. 2-on-1. Evander Kane scores. Oh, right through the 5-hole. Woo! Last time the Oilers got a goal, Evander Kane got pushed into Aiden Hill and then immediately took a penalty for no reason at all. Now, he just made Aiden Hill look really bad. If you're a Vegas fan and you're watching that, you're like, Aiden, need a save there, Aiden. Need a save there. Okay, watch this. So you're watching. I just told you Edmonton has played crazy defense. Klingberg knocked it out of Skinner's hand. Bouchard, McDavid, and then it's just Kane. And he just goes, he just presses the Y button on his controller and he's off. All speed, shot, boom. NHL 25 would not let you score a goal like that. That goal, that never goes in. And I think what Kane was ultimately looking for, he wanted a 5-hole goal. But if that, barring that, he was hoping if Aiden Hill had the 5-hole covered, it would create a rebound for Zach Hyman. And the Aiden chants are out in Edmonton, man. Oh, he's got to feel like the loneliest guy in the world out there right now. Hawks 23, if the Canes win the cup, I will never forgive the city of Hartford. I mean, the city of Hartford, it's not really their fault. The reason that the Canes left is because Hartford just wasn't a viable market in the modern era. And it unfortunately still is not. It's not big enough. Not big enough. And they had hardcore fans, but it's just the scale of amount, like the amount of people there, just not enough. Alex, man, Kane has been so good in the playoffs. I'm surprised. Yeah, guy misses the whole season and the first 2 games of the playoffs. And ever since, the Oilers have lost 1 game since he's played. And by the way, that 1 game was 2 nights ago. Oh! And really, they only lost because Stuart Skinner didn't stay in his net. Oilers could have won that game. They had all the momentum. After McDavid tied that up, I'm like, man, Oilers are winning this. We should be and could be looking at a sweep tonight, but not so. We will see them Wednesday. Right. So Wednesday is going to be interesting, by the way. I should mention Steve and I are doing a stream. Steve is doing the Leafs, and I will pick up the Leafs stream and turn it into an Edmonton Oilers stream and a Vegas Golden Knights stream immediately following the Leafs game. But if it goes in overtime, we will wait. Pretzel Hunt, stop blaming Skinner, please. Thanks. It was his fault. Don't tell me it was Draisaitl. Draisaitl wouldn't have had to be in his net if Skinner had been there. Draisaitl crossing. Wallman holds up at the line. Draisaitl holds. Podkolzin had his stick up in the air. Oh, and it sneaks past the Oilers defense. Mr. H.J. Haywood Jablomi says, let's get those 700 plus likes up, Gripper Nation. Let's effing go. Hell yeah. Let's get those likes up. We're over 800 people. This is great. Hi, everybody. It's a Monday night. We're all hanging out together. Hayden says, how big does the arena have to be for it to be considered NHL size? Well, I think the Jets have 15.5 in theirs. That's the smallest one. And the Jets, I don't know how big Winnipeg is in comparison to Hartford, but the Jets do have trouble from time to time selling out. There's only so much money in a market, right? Especially with what tickets cost these days. Mr. Jablomi. Yes, of course I caught on to that, guys. What's that? So the XL Center for Hartford, 14,000. Yeah, here compare population sizes though, Hayden, if you can. And I'm talking about the Hartford metro area, not just Hartford proper. Storm C says socks off, Adam. Well, we're not even at 500 likes yet. You guys can't be saying that. You can't be saying socks off. I can't get the piggies ready until we're at least at like 750. Then I'm going to start to sweat. And it's all going to be foot sweat. 10 minutes to go exactly in the second period. Oilers up 3-0. For a relatively non-competitive game, because the Oilers are just dominating here, this has been one of the most entertaining games I've watched this entire playoffs. It's just awesome hockey. 1.2 million for Hartford versus, I think Winnipeg is 6 or 700,000. That's interesting. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I never hear Hartford come up in like expansion talks. Oh, that is a call. Vegas player going to box, which will, I'm sure, make things better for Vegas. I'm sure Vegas right now, the thing they need the most is a penalty. Oilers get the puck into the offensive zone. They will have an offensive zone face-off, and it looks like, is that Houghton? Oh, it's Dorofeev. Klingberg falls a little easy there. Am I wrong on that? Hayden, did you see that? That was a little soft. Klingberg, listen, sell it, baby. Get your penalty. I'm just saying. Somebody said Hartford is not a good spot because everybody in Connecticut is a Bruins fan anyway. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Francois M says compared to the Canes, Canes Caps, this is monster trucks playing soccer at the Super Bowl. It's a crazy series. It's a crazy matchup. I love it. I do like a Vegas Dallas series would be sick. A Vegas a Dallas Oilers series would be, oh man, I want to cry thinking about it. Because guess who gets to do that series? That's right, me and Hayden, but not Justin. It would likely be Robert because Justin would likely be handling the other one. But Justin's here tonight. Everybody say hi to Justin. He's probably pretty tired. Hayden says, where, I'm Justin. By the way, I just saw the Hudson's Bay commercial, and it said all Hudson's Bay stores are closing. That makes me sad. Any of the Americans watching, you guys don't know, but Hudson's Bay has been a company in Canada since 1640. So that's kind of sad. Oh, Justin is not happy with you, Hayden. Not happy with you. Wow. Alex Mercer, Adam, I'm just joining you now. I was busy with the fam. Lots of celebrations in May. Dad's birthday. He's 81 today. And a Habs fan, don't judge. He remembers listening to games on the radio when he was a kid. Alex, we're thrilled to have you whenever you can make time for us. And let me just say happy birthday to your dad. In fact, chat, can we wish Alex Mercer's dad a happy birthday? 81. We should all be so lucky to make it to 81. Oilers on the power play. Dorofeev in the box for tripping. In case you can't tell, Alex, it's not going well for Vegas. Really not going well for Vegas. And they're in the box. So, yeah, not great. Not super duper. Bouchard across the line. Draisaitl. Played. Oh, see, there's the Vegas penalty kill being very aggressive. Mark Stone in the lineup after taking a knee to the face from Corey Perry. It was accidental. I know you have to say that with Corey Perry. You're just never sure. But on this one, it was. Pietrangelo shoots the puck, misses the net. You know, one thing I would recommend to Vegas is hit the net because with Stuart Skinner, you never know when it's going in. Oh, nice play. Oilers got this guy named McDavid. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's pretty good. Caleb Pfluger, who is more influential duo for their team in their time, Kane and Sharp or Connor and Leon? And if the Oilers don't win a cup, does that change the answer? Who's more influential? Here's what I would tell you. Influential is interesting because the Oilers have a huge history of winning, and they have some of the best players that have ever played playing, in their history, which is there. It's riches, just riches after riches after riches, with a little bit of a thing in between. And I think that, Kane and Taves were extremely influential in Chicago because they got Chicago fans not thinking about the Cubs, the White Sox, the Bears. Who else? Um, who am I? The Bulls, right? Like they took over Chicago for 5 or 6 years. They were the sports team. That's not easy to do. Chicago's got a big history, rich history winning. But I would say that I can't tell you who's more influential, but what I can tell you is if the Oilers do not win a cup and Connor McDavid leaves in 2026, it will be one of the most talked about, mismanaged hockey situations ever. And like specifically with the Oilers, Stuart Skinner has just not been good. He hasn't been good all year. He's not been good in the playoffs. So you're leaning on Calvin Pickard, who is currently injured and won't be back until I don't know a week from now. That's what they're saying as of this morning. So Stan Bowman going, "We don't need a goalie," could go down as one of the dumbest quotes. He didn't even need to say it out loud. Could be one of the dumbest quotes in NHL history if the Oilers don't win this year. They need to win, and they should win, and they should have won, right? But damn, they look good this year. Maybe old Stanley knew. Um, there's a poll. Who's been more disappointing tonight, the Vegas Golden Knights or producer Hayden? Well, I got my answer. I'm not going to tell you which one I said. Gyro Lamb says, "What about 1985? 1985 for the Oilers? Like that was just a bad play against Calgary in the final or in the Eastern Conference or Western Conference final. That's the Steve Smith thing you're talking about. That where Steve Smith was an Edmonton Oilers defenseman. He was behind his own net. He tried to make a breakout pass. It went off one of the Flames and it went past, I believe, it wasn't Bill Ranford. I think it was Grant Fuhrer and in the net. And they lost the series and it was a shock to everybody. And Gretzky had his most points ever that year. And, we got a breakaway. Oh, Hyman almost put it in. And he almost set up another one to Janmark. Oh, baby. Wow. Yeah. Stopped by Wool, Richard Triofino. Very true. Richard, hard to disagree. Man, the Oilers are so friggin' good. Damn. So if Stanny knew something we didn't about the goaltending, he's like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Goaltending, schmoaltending. Hey, you know what the Oilers should do this offseason? Sign a goalie. Hayden says the Blackhawks didn't have good goalies in their dynasty. Yeah, they won with Antti Niemi and Corey Crawford. I remember giving Blackhawks fans a shit about Corey Crawford. I was like, he's not that great. And people were like, hey, maybe, but he's our guy. So you go stuff it, Mr. Toronto man. And I was like, fair. Dave Glatz, Shaq Hyman is a special player. He is. Yeah, he is. Leafs lost him. Oh, I thought we almost had another breakaway there. Not so much. Janmark, though, doing his job. Being a pest, getting pucks deep, shoving, grappling, causing shit after the whistle. By the way, did you notice that this game is so much less contentious now that it's 3-0? Because Vegas is sort of like, we need to focus on the game. And Edmonton's like, we don't want to take a stupid penalty. So there's not a lot of going on. Podkolzin with a nice little move. Gets it back to the defense. Nurse back to Podkolzin. Another good move. A spinorama. Holy smokes. Podkolvetskin. That doesn't quite work. He's looking good, though. I respect him. He certainly looks better in Edmonton than he looked in Vancouver. Is that fair? Sedin Magic 15, are you still watching? I think Podkolzin's a better Oiler than he was at Canuck. Is that fair? Silent Rob 1192. Crazy that both the Leafs and the Panthers couldn't keep Hyman. Imagine the Oilers win the Cup, and it's a game-winning goal by Zach Hyman on either the Oilers or the Leafs. Salt, meat, wound. Leaf fans might never get over that. Like, they think about that for friggin' ever. Kyle Dubas would not be allowed in this city anymore. Sports Talk Chug, 06 final rematch coming. Also, Skinner playing well. You know what? When Skinner's had to play, he has played well. Dustin Tyson, Podkolzin way better as an Oiler. Hayden asked if the Oilers ran it back with the exact same roster they had last year, this year, would they have a better shot at winning the cup? I don't know. The Oilers seem better this year than last. And you know where it is? Where it's better, surprisingly, is defense. Um, Nurse is playing better. Bouchard is playing actual defense. I thought that they relied a lot on guys like Vinny Desharnais and Cody Ceci last year, and the real telltale sign was when it was the Stanley Cup Finals and Ceci was scratched and Broberg was playing, and I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's pretty valuable now. And imagine you had Dylan Holloway had like what 65, 70 points this year. Imagine the Oilers had another guy who could do that. And like Warren Fogle is a pretty valuable player in that run too. But yeah, I think this year is better. The Wallman ad, if you get Matthias Ekholm back before the end of this series, I had to stop. I got emotional. It's freaking over, dude. It's over. That guy. Oh, all I'm saying. Pretzel Hunt and Kulak is performing well. Yes, and you also have Stetcher too, who you got at the deadline last year. Size says it's weird that their defense looks this good without Ekholm. I agree completely. The Wallman ad was sick. Oh, here comes Nooch. Shot. Deflected. Shots are 25-11 for the Oilers. And by the way, if you're just tuning in, that's exactly how the game's gone. Don't let, sometimes we look at shots, you're like, well, that's not really the game story. I will tell you for a fact, Vegas is getting domed in this game. Domed. Bubble Butt says, I'm desperate to make hashtag Wild for Life trend anytime Adam does something mildly cute. I know he's married still. Hashtag Wild for Life. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. I like being called cute. Pods in the interview scoffed at the posters above the urinals with advice about healthy drinking. I don't know about that. Is Podkolzin a? I don't understand that joke. Am I missing something? Hayden says top 3 nominees for best defensive defenseman of the year: Tanev, Slavin, Ekholm. I for sure put Slavin in there. That guy fucking rocks. Sorry, I will stop swearing. Man, he's good. Ekholm, I love. But I don't. Is Ekholm like defensive defenseman? Because he's also offensive defenseman. You know? Just wondering. Just wondering. CJ Knapp, Oilers seem deeper this year. I agree. And I think a lot of that is Jake Wallman. Can move the puck. CC, Desharnais. Who else did they start last year that was just, hey, I'm big and that's about it? Those guys, they're big. That's about it. I don't know. Hawks 23. This just popped in my head, but will there be 2026 FIFA coverage on STPN? That is the plan, but that is as far as the plan has extended thus far. If it comes down to it, I don't mind doing some live streams, and I'm sure Jesse and Steve won't either. But I feel like it would be a good opportunity for us to expand into the beautiful game. However, we are a small company, and we would have to make financial sense. So we'll see what happens. But we are for sure going to look at it. That's the thing, right? Like it's so I'm so happy that you would even care to ask because we are a very hockey focused network, except for our football and our F1 shows. We do want to create like an all sports network. We want this to be a place where you go, there's a great show for my sport there. The problem is the economy is a bit funny because of those tariffs down south. And and we do business in the States and we do business in Canada. And all the advertisers are like, hey, until Trump figures this out, we're not going to advertise a whole bunch. And so you have to be careful with that kind of stuff, right? Because if you agree to, you don't want to expand too quickly. We've already done that. We've seen that. So we got to be careful. But yes, I would love to do that. Matt says, Adam and his feet are ugly and they are never cute. Well, how dare you? Meh. You're mean. You're mean. I really I really don't care. Do you think that you're the only person who's ever called me ugly? You weren't a woman in grade 7 in my class. To be honest with you, if I ever peaked at all, it wasn't then. Could couldn't talk to girls. Well, I could talk to girls, but it was never like in a romantic context. And I remember we always had these. I don't know if you guys had these. Oh, we might have a shot and goal. Oh, Henrique just missed on the pass. I don't know if you guys ever had this at Valentine's Day. They would deliver carnations, and if you got a white carnation, oh man, nice little play there by Connor Brown too. You get a white carnation if you were friends, a pink one if you like somebody, and a red one if you really like someone. And all I ever got was one white carnation. So I'm telling you, didn't work out for me. I did send some carnations. Just never went the right way for me. Hawks 23. Look where you are now. That's right. I'm hanging out overnight with my friends. Honestly, I could not be happier about that actually. It's actually wicked. 135 left. Here comes Darnell Nurse. Vegas able to cut him off, but not much else. They throw it out. Yanaki Toronto. I can talk to girls, but never in a romantic context. Adam Wylde 2025. Listen, I've been married more than once, so I clearly can talk to women now. I had zero confidence. Like the confidence was like a negative. It was terrible. Like I was like a negative 10 in confidence. My aura, negative 10. No riz, nothing. Takes a while sometimes. Some of those people, sometimes you got to leave high school to get that. And even then, it was mediocre at best. Bubble butt. Adam is great at getting married. He's like a pro. How dare you? 43 seconds left to go in this game, or in this period, not in this game. Is this game over? It's a question worth asking. McDiesel fighting for Adam. That's, you know what? The guys that performed that song, I was in a band with the lead singer for many years, and I bet I could get him to re-record that song, at least the vocals on it, and just get him to sing "Fighting for Adam" instead of "Fighting for Love." Adam's chats are freaky, like way more than Steve's, and it's unsettling. Well, yo, Adam's freaky, way more than Steve. Just saying. People gravitate to the thing that matters to them. You know, that's what Gripper Nation's all about. We're all a little freaky. What's up, Hayden? Oh, we got a CJ show clip. How long is it? Ooh, okay. Let's see. Let's hang on to that because it's a 10-minute CJ show clip on what? Oh, you guys will like this one. You'll like this one if you're a Leafs fan because it's about the Leafs. You'll love this one if you're a fan of any other team because it's about a Leaf player not doing well enough. Maybe you're gonna love this. That's my tease. We're hanging out a little bit longer. Scott Drager, Adam, if Stollers is available in game number 6, I doubt it. I doubt he will be, but if he is, you start him. Mo Bailey, late night with Adam. It gets wild. You remember those commercials if you stayed up too late? Up late, lonely. Call this number, and definitely real people will talk to you about how hot you are. Should we do like a late night phone line? By the way, those phone sex lines. You know how much they cost? It was crazy. We did a whole thing in a media class about that once. This is how I know this. I didn't call them and charge it to my parents' phone number. But those lines, they would charge like $5 a minute. A minute. It's nuts, man. It was like my media arts teacher in grade 11 was like talking about various forms of media, and he said that is a form of media. We were like, what? He's like, check it out, and then we got into the theory of it all. It was very interesting. Matherman, are NHL owners more hands off than other sports? Like all these recycled GMs and coaches is unique to the NHL. Guys like Holland shouldn't have a job. Well, I did hear from some people today who believe that Holland should not have a job, that his best days are behind him. However, the way that it works is that when you let go of a general manager or a coach, the league will send you what's called like an approved list. Here are the 3 top candidates on this list that we think would be the best fit for your situation. And here are 10 other guys that might be a fit you should probably talk to, right? A lot of owners, you got to remember, these guys didn't make their money in hockey. They're not like a lot of Jerry Joneses left. Not a lot of Wirtz families left. They made their money in another business. They became a bazillionaire, and they bought a hockey team because it was cool and it's a great tax write-off. And they don't have time. So the NHL wants to make it easy. And also, they're like, the NHL, by giving that list out, they know all those people. They're properly vetted. So, hey, if you hire one of these guys, they're not going to embarrass your hockey team with a weird late night tweet. They're not idiots, right? Like, so the reason they do it, Matherman, this is a long story short, is that it's the idea is to make it easier on the ownership group who ultimately make the call. Like the president and the ownership group make the call on who gets hired. So the recycled GMs thing, though, is people look at Ken Holland and they go, well, that guy's won Stanley Cups. And by the way, last year he was the general manager of the team that almost won the cup. You know, if Kyle Dubas can get a 7-year, $49 million deal from the Pittsburgh Penguins, Kyle Dubas has won 1 playoff round his entire career. And he hasn't made the playoffs since going to Pittsburgh, right? So Ken Holland, it's like, oh, well, he's always in the playoffs. He's won cups. The last team he was the GM for almost won the cup. I don't know. It doesn't sound so bad to me. They'll look at the resume. Now, does that mean it's the right thing to do? I don't think so. A guy that I think would have been perfect for Los Angeles had he been available, but he's not, is Don Waddell. Don Waddell, who basically built the Carolina program, is now rebuilding the Columbus program, and you saw how much better Columbus was this year because of it. And Don Waddell is not a genius. Don Waddell's a hard worker. He's smart. But you know what Don Waddell does? He hires geniuses. He hires the smartest guys in every category. Look at Eric Tulsky with the Carolina Hurricanes. Eric Tulsky acquired and then traded away Mikko Rantanen, and Eric Tulsky's Carolina Hurricanes might just go to the conference finals. That's a pretty smart guy, right? Don Waddell would have been perfect for the Kings. He would have rebuilt the program, get it back to where it needs to be. Ken Holland, I mean, listen, man, I think Ken Holland's a little more old school. You know, Ken's got a son. His son usually works for him. You know, it's like sort of stuff like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Listen, I've worked with my mom. She never hired me for anything. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. It's weird. It's so weird. But if I were the Leafs, I would sure call Ken Holland. Sports Talk Chud says keeping Marner over Hyman is an all-time blunder. That is not true. No disrespect to Zach Hyman. Mitch Marner is a 100-point player in the NHL, and you can be mad at him for his lack of points production in the playoffs or whatever it is. But I don't think Matthews gets anywhere close to 70 goals without Mitch Marner. Straight up. Okay, let's go to this clip. Hayden, it's CJ Show, Julian, and Chris. And as I told you guys, you'll love this if you like the Leafs. You'll love it even more if you don't like the Leafs, because has Matthews' play been good enough? CJ and Julian break it down.
And this is a team that does not miss any chance to finish a check, which I don't think you should. I mean, I think it's proven to be an effective strategy. They get in some little extra shots. They still have Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett, Matthew Tkachuk. They have players that like to scratch at your skin as an opponent. If not literally, then mentally. And I think Toronto definitely needs to get a reset back here. But I mean, all that being said, this is a pretty heavyweight matchup. It's a very physical series, and it's probably going 7 games is just where my mind's at. Not to be issuing predictions, but it just feels like there's not a lot between the teams, and they're each sort of struggling to be the best version of themselves within the series.
Oh, yeah. I knew at the beginning of this series this was going to go 7. I knew with the way the Leafs were playing, they were going to find a way to push it to the limit. To see the Panthers push back and tie the series, not a complete surprise, maybe a little bit just with the way that they looked in the first 2 games, but they seem to have found a way to wear down the Leafs and also keep their best players from scoring regularly, which is a pretty good segue into Austin Matthews, who only has 1 goal this postseason. He's drawn a lot of praise for his defensive play, but still just 1 goal, which was scored in that game 6 against the Sens. Like, at some point, that goal scoring has to show itself for 34. Like, there's a reason why he's in the position that he's in. What do you think about how he's been playing in this postseason and in this series particularly?
Small correction, he did score 2 goals in the Senators series, but does not change your larger point. When you're Austin Matthews, of course, he's counted on to score more than that. And it certainly doesn't change the discussion that's building around the Leafs captain. I'm in the camp that the Leafs have dominated by and large through his 5-on-5 minutes in these playoffs. They've actually had a pretty good power play, of which he's, an important part of as well. And so I do think that does mitigate some of the, if you just go to, NHL.com and look up his stats, I mean, he's still a point per game player. And until 12 hours ago, the Leafs were ahead in a second round series against the defending Cup champions. Now, 12 hours later, they're not. And there's going to be a lot of talk about this, and it's fair game. There's no me sitting here making excuses, but I see a guy that's still winning a lot of his shifts that, has the most shots on goal by the Leafs in this series, in the playoffs, has the most individual scoring chances. I see someone with whom I expect things to change if he just keeps doing what he's doing. But, you get to this stage where everything is magnified. The Leafs only have 2 guaranteed games left this season. You need a breakthrough moment from him. William Nylander has had a very productive series here against the Panthers, 6 points in the series. John Tavares had a 2-goal game. I think Matthews and Mitch Marner in particular are under the most acute pressure. I mean, they play together at even strength, and they're probably the 2 most important members of the power play, along with Nylander. And so, I think we're just at that stage where, the Leafs, they need something. I mean, this team is actually through these playoffs, and they scored a lot of goals in this series, even after getting shut out in Game 4. And they've got, some guys doing it that you don't expect to. A lot of goals from the defenseman, Morgan Riley, for example. Chris Tanev had a goal in this series against Florida. Mm-hmm. But you got to, your horses have to kick in eventually, right? And so, we definitely are at the stage where I think that's basically knocking on Matthews' door. And, after Game 4, he mentioned he feels a little snake bit. He said that he's trying to focus on the fact that he's winning a lot of his shifts, that, he's looking at the sort of things I was mentioning at the top and putting on that there's a lot of good happening. So you can't focus just on the goal column. I think that you're going to see a push from him. We should mention too, he didn't skate at all between games 3 and 4. Obviously this has been a season where, he I don't know if he's ever got to even 100%. Don't have any reason to believe he's not in danger of missing a game in the series, but I think he's hampered a little bit too. And so he's fighting through all this. He's got to fight through the conversation, the noise, whatever he's dealing with physically, and just frankly, what the Panthers are doing to him. I mean, there's a ton of attention paid to him and to his line mates in terms of trying to shut them down. Interestingly enough, the Panthers have done it by switching away from their top line and their top defensive pairing. I mean, that's kind of unusual. Matthews was having success head-to-head with Barkov through the first period of Game 3. And at that point, Paul Maurice, late in that first period, switched to his line matchup to Lundell. They're also getting sort of what I'd call Florida's second defense pair of Jones and Mikkola. Now, Florida's one of those teams that rolls out a pretty solid top 4 at you. So, that's not necessarily to diminish what that pairing is. I mean, two good players, but the Leafs need to have some success in those minutes. And really, that Lundell, Marchand, Luosterainen line for Florida has been incredibly effective at both ends of the ice in the series. So, the chess match is on. The tension is up. There's a lot of emotion in this series, and there's a lot of pressure on the guy carrying the C for the Leafs to find a way to extend the season and get through this round. And this is a massive opportunity. I mean, there's so much focus, of course, over the years on the Leafs core. They've never had a moment like this. They were in the second round just once, and they lost in 5 games in 2023. Here they are with a best of 3 to get to the conference final. I mean, there's every team left playing has a legit Stanley Cup chance, them included, and they've got to seize on this next week to find a way and get their way through.
Absolutely. And to your point about the pressure being on Matthews, it has to be, of course, and he's earned that pressure too with how he's played. To your point, his second goal of that Senators series comes in game 6. It comes after a game 5 where the Leafs don't look that great. I've seen some people say that yesterday's game probably just as bad or even worse than that game 5 against the Ottawa Senators. What do you? How would you compare how the Leafs looked on Sunday versus what they looked like in that game against the Sens?
Well, neither was good. Obviously, for me, it was the worst game of the playoffs for Toronto. I think, I go back to all those penalties, just putting themselves in that spot. Some of the decisions there. You've got hooking penalties and interference penalties. Like you've really just got some poor decision making. I mean, even the high sticking penalty Max Domi took at the start of the game. I mean, to me, it's just on a spot on the ice, kind of at the Leafs offensive blue line. There's no reason he just loses control of a stick. I mean, we've seen Max Domi in particular take some undisciplined penalties, I'll call them, in this playoffs. It just didn't look sharp. And that's between the ears. That's structurally. That's finding a way to get to their game. I mean, the best stretch, unquestionably, somehow, some way, and I guess it's Joseph Woll, who we haven't mentioned, who had a very good performance. I think if you're looking for a positive out of a game with not very many of them from the Toronto end of things, the way Woll played, was definitely encouraging, and he gave them a chance. It's the third period, and somehow they have no business only being down 1-0, but they were, and the Leafs started that period with a real push, and things were going well, and then Oliver Ekman-Larsson takes the interference penalty on Evan Rodriguez, actually knocked Rodriguez out of the game, by hitting him in the neutral zone when Rodriguez hadn't touched the puck. And that just disrupted any sort of budding momentum there. So, they just didn't have anything going at all, which is maybe the parallel offensively with the Senators game. But I think, being against the champions, being that they had earned a 2-1 series lead and then some through the first 3 games of the series. Like, they had a lot of reason to be confident. They had a proof of concept of what they could do to disrupt the Panthers, I think, through those games. They just didn't, they never got there. And they had a really sluggish start and never quite recovered. So for me, that was the worst game. Now, it should be said, lots of teams that even go on to win Stanley Cups, there's no perfect, right? There's really, I think, the key is, and probably Florida is a good example of this, to have a long playoff run, you have to put efforts like that behind you. You have to find a way to ensure that, any sort of trends that are heading in the wrong direction are eliminated in real time. I mean, the Panthers looked absolutely awful in the first period of this entire series. They'd allowed 13 goals through 3 games. The questions they were getting from reporters were about how can you limit defensively, and how can you, that they were the ones that were under some degree of fire here, and then they win 2 big games on home ice, and now we're saying how can the Leafs handle them? So it's the nature of the beast at this time of the season, but if the Leafs play anywhere near like that, it's that I would suggest the rest of the series won't be that competitive. But that being said, I do expect them to have their own pushback and to have a regroup. And it's been a home series so far. And so if they can take care of business on home ice, they're going to head back to Florida later in the week with a really enticing opportunity, perhaps. So, I think that's where the focus needs to be on the Leafs end of things.
All right, we're back. Period number 3. Will Vegas continue to disappear in this game? Sink, you might even say. Will the Edmonton Oilers continue to dominate? Will we continue to talk about the greatest literary works of our time? It's been a good one tonight, guys. Having fun. Having fun. I'm hoping all of it. I know Edmonton fans don't want to hear this. I do hope that Vegas makes it somewhat interesting in the third period because it did. The first period was amazing. Second period was still very good. Third period could be a bore. Could be a bore if Edmonton just comes in and dominates and Vegas plays like a kicked dog here. So 25-12 are the shots. I don't know if the Golden Knights are going to get 20 shots today. Hayden says, I guess somebody said the game doesn't end till the clock hits 0. So, meaning I should probably not say, hey, we're headed to overtime before the game's over. And that's fair. It's a good point. Wow. They're showing the Evander Kane walk-ins. He's got a lot of nice cars. By the way, I was out for dinner tonight, and you know what I saw? Evander just got out of one. He got out of a Rolls-Royce Phantom. I saw one of those in person tonight. Very cool. And there was guys just pouring out of it, like smoking cigars and being like, we're cool. I was like, good for you guys. You enjoy your stogies. That's cool. It's pretty rare to see a Rolls Royce like that. So I like that. Dalton Cannon. Where did you go? I was in Yorkville in Toronto. So they always have cool cars down there. I love going there just to see the cars. Like they park them all outside of the Hazelton Hotel where all the celebrities stay. So good. Pietrangelo blocks a shot with like 7 seconds in, and he is having trouble. And so the others are like, cool, why don't we just hit you and make it worse? And I think he's in pain. Prenzl Hunt, yeah, it's probably a rental rolls. Well, either way. Oh, yeah, Pietrangelo's in real pain. I wonder if that hit him in the inner thigh or something. What happened here? So Nuge shoots, and the puck goes, off of the ankle. That's it. And then Hyman hits him just for fun. Yeah, Pietrangelo, that would hurt like hell. I hope he's not broken. Hayden said it's right where the tongue meets the base of the skate, and that is yuck. Pretzel Hunt, I wouldn't smoke in my Rolls Royce. I wouldn't let others smoke in it. No. They weren't smoking in the Rolls Royce. They got out of the Rolls Royce. Coco and Kitty says, subscribe to the channel so they can get to 200 subscribers. I don't think, or 200,000 subscribers. Well, we'd like to get there eventually. We're just making our way slowly. What's that, Hayden? Yeah, we're like 3,000 to 150 here. So we'll focus on getting to 150 first. But yeah. Listen, if you guys aren't already subscribed, I think you probably are. Please subscribe. Not just because we want to drive our numbers, but because it gives you little notifications when we're live so you can come join our live streams. I also saw somebody before the break say, hey, I didn't know this channel did things other than Leafs reactions. This is, we did it last year too. We do plenty of that. Plenty of that. $18.50 left in the third period. So far, nothing from Vegas this period. One little quick scoring chance for the Edmonton Oilers, but if you're just tuning in, just coming back from the bathroom, microwave some popcorn, whatever it is you did, you've missed nothing. You might have had something here, though. Here comes Connor Brown. Evander Kane throws it out front. Nobody there. By the way, Adam Henrique is on hat-trick watch. He had 2 goals in the first period. Probably looking for that third. And Kane with a shot. He also had a goal earlier. And those are the 3 goals. And this is this new look second line for the Oilers. Kane, Henrique, and Connor Brown. And it worked. It worked instantly. Jeremy Ball, this channel has never done LFRs. Well, I mean, watch-alongs, live reactions, kind of what we're doing, right? Dustin Tyson, well, you would have missed Pietrangelo being hurt. Yeah, but I think he's going to be back. I think he's just bruised. It's but a scratch. 18-16 left in the third period. I'll give you a clap at the next face-off draw in case we're not aligned stream-wise. Adam Henrique shoots it in. Remember, Adam Henrique on hat-trick watch here. He tipped that one, that last shot. Looked a little bit dangerous. Aiden Hill had some eyes on it. Kane centered it to Connor Brown. Connor Brown, I don't think, was prepared for that one. He was already too far, but he's behind the net now. To Kane along the half wall. Back to Nurse. Nurse winds up, shoots. Puck hits a couple legs, goes into the Vegas corner. Oilers retrieve another shot. And that was from Brown to Henrique. And unfortunately, Henrique's shot was blocked. Good little shift there from the second line of the Oilers. Oiler fans a little bit quiet. Resting, I would say. Resting and hoping that the Oilers are able to hang on to this lead and they can celebrate at the end of it. $17:08 left in the third period. McDiesel says, we're chilling. As you should. You should enjoy this, man. Imagine enjoying a playoff game. Couldn't be me. Don't know what it's like. Have never enjoyed one. I enjoy the result. Enjoying the game as a Leaf fan? Can't relate. Simply can't. Chris Doucette, it's easy when your team is up 3. Nothing to do. Just sit there and relax. Not having your heartbeat going 150 per minute. I know. Pete says they're settling in with their $25 beers. Is that how much it costs to get a beer at Rogers Place? Or Rogers Arena, excuse me. Yuno says, as an Oiler fan, I enjoy every game. LOL. Well, it's Rogers Place. I got it right. Rogers Arena, Vancouver. McDavid shooting in. Hyman gets the rebound, and it is broken out by the Vegas Golden Knights. Bit of a 3-on-3 here. McDavid gets back to assist. Pietrangelo back on the ice. His ankle might be bruised, but he's okay. He's free to swing that stick at whoever's arm he feels. Pietrangelo's shot blocked. Puck chipped up to Hyman. Hyman's at the end of a shift, but you know he's never going to give up. He's just not going to have the pop that he would normally have. 15:40 left in the period. Podkolzin is out. He's on the second line. Third line, I believe. Yeah, Podkolzin and Nuge are on the second line. This is where I'm confused, right? Everybody was all switched up, but it's Brown, Kane, and Henrique on the third line. That's my bad. Vito34 says, Adam, we were able to enjoy game 1 of round 1. You're right. Game 1 of round 1, we were allowed to enjoy that. All right, I'm going to give you the time here in a second, and we're going to give you the clap. David says, was that a $5.5 million 50-50 prize? Yes. I'm telling you, 50-50 in Alberta is serious business. All right, here we go. 15:31. Boom. Face off. Would Ottawa have beat Washington? No. Aiden asked the question. Would Ottawa have beat Washington? No. No disrespect to the Sens, but I think there were a lot like the Canadians, and they were new and young and playing with house money, and they'll be back for more next year, but no. Bino Hawk in Alberta, Calgary doesn't get 50-50s like Edmonton. Well, I'll tell you this. I was at several Calgary Flames games where the 50-50s got into like $250,000. I think after the last lockout in 2012, was it 2011? I went to the opening game, and somebody won like almost $300,000 that night. I think this 50-50 for the Oilers is one that is a round long 50-50. So that's why it's $5.5 million. But even so, it's bonkers. Or maybe it's all playoffs, but still like $5 million. Like what? Oh, nice shot by Wallman. Aiden Hill has, you know what? After letting in that really kind of weak goal in Evander Kane, Aiden Hill has straight up closed the door. Like you expect. Oh, good save by Skinner. You expect a goalie to let in a goal about once every 10 shots. That's about fair. right? It's around a 900 save percentage. Aiden Hill is at that level right now. Didn't start great, but it's good. Oh, so Sean O'Neill. So it's a weekly 50-50 game. So it's like 3 games. Yo, that's nuts. $5.5 million. Jesus. That's what I'm saying. Like Alberta, I don't even think people are like, well, Calgary, it's only $250,000, whatever. Toronto, a 50-50, you're lucky if it gets to 20 grand. But when a 50-50 gets high enough, then people buy more tickets. Oh, Vegas with their best shot of the game, and the Oilers just keep blocking shots. It's a good strategy. If you're not sure that your goaltender can stop it, have your players do it. Olofsson across the line. Vegas looks like they have a little bit of life here. White Cloud along the half board. Down low to Hurdle. Hurdle behind the net, working it through. Dorofeev. White Cloud with it. Olofsson shot it. It went off a leg. Hurdle behind the net. Getting worked over a little bit by the Oilers D. Nice save. Man, Jeff Skinner. Gotcha. It's Stuart. Stuart Skinner. By the way, I got to say, I do feel bad for Jeff Skinner. Do we not all feel a little bad for Jeff Skinner? He's just sitting on the sidelines. The Oilers finally shake up their lines, and it's still not Jeff Skinner. That sucks. Woo! Hayden, Hayden says, do we have to feel bad for an Oilers goalie every season? No, I feel bad for Jeff Skinner, not Stuart Skinner. I don't feel bad for Stuart Skinner. Should I feel bad for Stuart Skinner? Oh, yeah. Yeah, goaltenders have traditionally gone to Edmonton and died, but no, I don't feel bad. Stuart Skinner had a good year last year. I think he had injuries this year. Maybe with a good summer off, he'll feel better. Jeff Skinner, I feel bad for. He's played his entire career, finally gets into the playoffs, and he's played one game. One. It's nuts. Silent Rob 1192 says, at the Prudential Center in Jersey, you're lucky if the 50-50 hits 10K. But that's the thing. Once it gets a little bit high, everybody's like, well, I'd like to win $250,000. Well, I'd like to win $1 million. I'd like to win $5.5 million. Sure. I'll put $20 on the 50-50. Who cares? It gets the ball rolling, but you need to get the ball rolling. Cody says, so Edmonton has had the same goalie coach for the last 10 plus years. Somehow he still has a job. It's true. Andrew says, Oilers barely pay much for their goalies. Can't expect the highest amount of skill. True. Will Vegas score a goal tonight is the chat question right now. I'm going to say yes, they will score a goal tonight. But the chat mostly right now is saying no. Roughly 60% of you. 14% of you think they're going to tie it up. You guys are positive. I like your positivity. Guard of Life, Adam, how much time did you spend in the sun to burn? I spent no time in the sun today and not much this weekend. I have had to alter the color settings on my camera, if you must know, so that I don't look washed out and pale, because that's how I was looking for a good chunk of this season until I started fiddling with the settings. So if you're seeing color, believe me, it ain't a tan. Hayden said I look like a spooky ghost, and he was afraid of doing these streams late night because he doesn't like spooky ghosts late at night. Chelsea 3497 says the West loves a 50-50. Saskatchewan Roughriders regular season 50-50 hits 250K. Right? Like, that's nuts. That's unheard of. Would not happen in Toronto. Would not happen. Matt Wilkins, IIRC, most league 50-50s are only sold in the arena. Well, in Toronto, you can play the 50-50 outside of Like, you can be anywhere in the world and play Toronto's 50-50 and still no one cares. It's a cultural thing. Guard of Life, your farmer's tan says otherwise. So, fun fact about me, I used to work outside for about 4 or 5 years doing landscaping in the summers. And during that time, my farmer's tan was so embedded in my skin that it does not matter what time of year it is. I have a permanent farmer's tan. Permanent. Every time I take off my shirt, I have a farmer's tan. So it doesn't even matter, too, if I tan the rest of my arms. I will still get a farmer's tan because this part of the arm will always tan more. It's the wildest thing. I don't know many other people that have a perma farmer's tan, but I am one of them. Guard of Life, my eyes. There you go. Ah! Pete, long sleeves equal 2020 hindsight. When it's 35 degrees out and you're mowing lawns or you're slugging concrete, you're not putting a long sleeve shirt on. Oh, Joachim Hillman has a permanent farmer's tan as well. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Eric Hayes, I got a permanent farmer's tan in the military. Took 10 years for it to go away. Mine has never gone away. Zach says, dang, I bet those grippers are fluorescent. If you like almost see-through, like fish that lives at the bottom of the ocean, that's what they look like. I'm waiting for this. This period has not delivered for Vegas the way, like, Vegas has no pop in this game. None. I feel like if they get one fluky goal, that will change. They at least are getting some shots. Like, they're now up to 18 shots. We are going to get 20 Vegas shots tonight. I'm sure of it now. I didn't think we would at the beginning of the period. Hayden says, who's your Vegas goal scorer? It's going to be like Dorofeyev. That's who I think is going to score. If Vegas is going to score, it's going to be like Dorofeyev from Hurdle and Olofsson. And I will tell you guys, it doesn't look like they're going to get it. But if they do, I do think Vegas makes a push. Yeah. This is crazy. Like, Edmonton seems to be able to do whatever the hell they want with the puck tonight. I don't know how to explain it. Like, every bounce is going their way. 10-10 left in the third period. So it's interesting. The first period was electric. The second period was very good. The third period has been, I think I'm ready for bed. Jason V, how do you keep Skinner safe? Don't let shots on him. Agreed. And the Oilers have done that. Max Horowitz says, I think I'm going to go with Eichel scoring, but I don't think they will score. Oh! Wow. By the way, that was almost Dorofeyev scoring. Just throwing that out there. 9:28 left in the third period. Apparently, Justin has had to tell the chat that the shirt is staying on. Yes. This will be a nipple-free stream. You can guarantee that. Marquette, if the third round matchup is Dallas-Edmonton, who do you pick to win it? So here's the thing. What's interesting about that? Dallas doesn't score a lot without Mikko Rantanen. They went from April 28th to May 11th, and every single goal that they scored involved Mikko Rantanen. Every single one until May 11th, which was Sunday night. And so if Edmonton could find a way to shut Mikko down, that would make it interesting because Edmonton has goals all the way throughout the lineup. They have every player that has played more than 2 games for them has scored at least a goal. which is kind of a crazy stat. Like every forward. So they have a lot more depth scoring. But then the question is Skinner starting? Because if Skinner's starting, Mikko Rantanen's going to eat that guy alive, you'd think. So I don't know who wins. I'd like to see how they play each other. I know that's sort of a cop-out answer, but like, how can I possibly answer that with those two factors, right? Is can you shut down Mikko, and is Stuart Skinner starting? And if Stuart Skinner is starting, then yeah, if Mikko Rantanen gets his hands on him, it's over. Oh, Wallman and Eric Haynes, Oilers possibly get Ekholm back in round 3. And you know what's crazy about the Dallas Stars? Pete DeBoer said today they could get Miro Heiskanen back before the end of the second round. So imagine these Oilers versus those Stars with Heiskanen and Ekholm back. Oh, baby. It'd be a fun series. GA007 says, does Robertson look more healthy? He'll be key, and Miro. I think Robertson does look more healthy. You got to give goal scorers, especially, you got to give them time to get back into it. It's such a finesse, like weird thing to do when you really break down being a high-end scorer. I think it's the hardest thing to get back to. Like when you miss a few weeks because of an injury, always takes guys, unless they're aliens like McDavid, always takes guys a few games to kind of get their rhythm back, their hands back, their timing, that sort of thing. Yuhar Karula says Heiskanen is going to be huge for other lines too. He's so good at starting attacks. Absolutely. Guy's crazy. He's one of the best defensemen in the league, and Dallas is kicking ass without him. That's a pretty scary thought. But look at Edmonton. They're kicking ass without Ekholm. I can tell you this, the Leafs would not kick ass without Tanev. It would be a lot harder to kick ass. So full respect to those teams. Full marks. Here we go. Yeah, they are just crushing Pietrangelo. Look at him. Oh, my God. I'm sure as an Oilers fan, you're devastated for Alex Pietrangelo, right? I'm sure all the Oilers fans in the chat are like, man, poor Petro. We should take it easy on him. What's he ever done to us? By the way, if you guys want to have some fun tonight, you should look up the London Knights Twitter account. Easton Cowan is insane. He's insane. I'm so excited for him to be playing for the Leafs next year. The guy's insane. He's playing for the Leafs. I think he's making the big club. I know they'll be like, well, we'll put him in the AHL. No. You put him on that roster and you do it now. He's crazy. Crazy spinorama. Watch this. Oh, it's just so crazy. Do your homework. Watch the London Knights. Since this game is not that all that exciting, open up a second window in your browser and look at the London Knights Twitter account and look at the Easton Cowan goal. Hayden says, does Danford make the Leafs? No, and I'll tell you why. He's going to play in the AHL for a year or two and get used to the pro game. It's so much harder for defensemen. Easton Cowan's got the blessing of being a winger, or he will be a winger at the NHL level. And it's easiest for them. I mean, it's not easy to make the NHL, but it's easiest for wingers to adjust and settle in. It's a lot harder for centermen, and it's a lot harder for defensemen. Defensemen take years to really mature. Hayden said, well, the Leafs also have their blue line pretty locked up. They do. And the blue line is playing great. Danford would get into games next year. Like there will be injuries and guys resting and whatever else. But I don't think he needs to be a starter full time. I think the Leafs are in the best position possible with their defense. Everybody's good. Everybody's under contract for a reasonable amount. The only positional change I would see for the Leafs potentially making, it depends on how they do this. Hyman. Dropping it again on Pietrangelo. They're going to beat this guy out of the series. Man, he's taking a beating. 6:38 left in the third. Xiaoyu Wang. Okay, so the Leafs had Marchand and Bennett in the summer, hey? Only antidote to Steve's nightmare and pain. I do think Sam Bennett is a legitimate potential Leaf. He's from the area. He grew up a Leaf fan. I do think that that is a very real possibility if the Florida Panthers are unable to re-sign him. Will the Leafs have to pay too much money for him? Yes. Why? Unrestricted free agency. Does it matter? No, the cap's going up. And it's going up big. Hayden says, how much is Nye going to get offer sheeted for? He's not. The Leafs will have him signed. And they'll have him signed quickly. The guy I do question is Marner. I really do think that he could legitimately go. Oh, Stetcher just took one of the Stetcher took an elbow to the face and then absolutely ran that Vegas Golden Knight. I just have to see who that was. Oh my God. That was Brett Howden. Woo! Look at this. Oh, nice little reverse hit. Man, Stetcher. And that really hurt him. I think he took like an elbow to the nose. That did not feel good. Nate D says 9.3 million to start for Nyes. Nyes is going to get, I think he's going to be a $7 million guy. I think the Leafs sign Tavares, sign Nyes. And if Marner doesn't resign, then you sign Bennett. And Oilers fans, you're going to hate this. You wait and see what Connor McDavid does in the summer of 2026. Just make sure you got the cap room. Hayden's got an either or for us that he gave to Steve yesterday. Give it to me, Hayden. Mm-hmm. Hayden says Marner, 8 years, 13 million, or Kaprizov, 7 years, 14. I would be insane not to say Kaprizov. I'd be insane not to say Kaprizov. Kaprizov is so good. He's not leaving Minnesota, though. There's no way. There's no way. Toe drag release, high stick blatantly on the play that caused Stetcher bleeding. No penalty. Stetcher gets right back up and lays a big hit. I like this kid. Dude, that's a real hockey player right there. Oh, man, that's a good elbow. Oh, man. And he's watching Howard, and then wham. And you know what's great about that hit? It's not directly to the chest. He doesn't try to blow him up. It's a hit that legitimately takes him out of the play because it changes his shift. Zach Crozier, McDavid is signing July 1st. Where? And July 1st of what year, Zach? I know, I'm just giving you shit. Kind of like I love to give the Penguins fans shit about Crosby. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw it. Eric Engels from Sportsnet wrote an article about what it would take the Montreal Canadiens to get Sidney Crosby, who, by the way, grew up a Canadiens fan. Jiayu Wang, I hate to break it to you. Nyes is going to go $8.5 million, and McDavid is staying in Edmonton for 16 sheets. That's probably true. Nyes, though, I don't think so. I think Nyes is going to be more of a bridge deal. I think it doesn't. People are expecting Nyes to sign for 8 years, and let me just tell you something. That doesn't make sense. He would be leaving money on the he'd be leaving money on the table. I think what you do if you're Nyes is you sign for 3 years. You get 7.5, whatever. I don't know what the number is. I'll leave that to Brad. Probably 6 to 7.5, somewhere in that range, and you sign a bridge deal. And the reason you do that is then you're like 26, 27 when that contract expires. The salary cap has gone up by $30 or $40 million from when you signed. I'm not kidding. That's as cap is going up. Players are not going to sign 8-year deals unless they're old. Like, why would you? Just wait. And so what's that, Hayden? Connor's getting way yeah, Hayden said Connor's getting more than 16. He should get more than 16. Yes, I agree. It should be, hey, what's 20% of the cap? Whatever it is, that's what we're signing Connor to. If I was Connor McDavid, I would sign rolling 1-year contracts like LeBron did. When the NBA salary cap exploded, LeBron would sign a 1-year deal, and he would, as soon as they announced the next salary cap, like however far it was going up, he would then sign the next year's deal for league max. McDavid should do that. Why not? Like, why would you sign an 8-year deal? You want to be in Edmonton? Cool, stay in Edmonton, but just sign a 1-year. Just sign consecutive 1-year contracts. What are the Oilers going to do? Tell you no? You already have generational wealth. Might as well make more. 4 minutes, by the way, left in the third. Vegas has already pulled a goalie because they need a goal here. Now, my goal scorer for Vegas, if it happens, is Dorofeyev. We'll see. I don't even think he's on the ice. I'm telling you guys, get used to short-term contracts. Get used to them. It's happening. It's coming. By the way, 774 people still watching here. It's 12:15 a.m. in Toronto. Love you all for sticking around. This is fun. Matthew Presley whispers, paying Connor McDavid so much of the cap is the reason the Oilers have wasted a decade of his career. That's not true. When they paid guys like Milan Lucic, that's where you've reallocated the wrong money. You pay the dogs. Listen to Nazem Kadri. You pay the dogs. And you find the supporting cast who goes, yeah, I'd like to pay with Connor and Leon and win a cup. Okay, cool. Yes, and Hayden makes a good point. Darnell Nurse is not an $8.5 million defenseman. That's also true. 3:07 left. Vegas with the shot. It's blocked. Rebound, and Skinner's got it. 3:02 left in the third. Vegas has officially eclipsed 20 shots. There's Riley Smith, Game 3 hero for Vegas. That might be the only heroic moment Vegas has in this series, the way things are going. This Game 4, following up that like miraculous Game 3 win, it's especially the comeback. Like we didn't talk enough about the comeback that Vegas was able to pull off in order to pull even sorry, my brain. Vegas was able to come back in that game, and then Edmonton came back, and then Vegas won, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Remember, I've been up a long time. But I look at this and I go, I don't think Vegas, beyond that goal, got enough credit for how good they were last game. They were much, much better than they have been tonight, and they followed it up with just a total dud. Or do we give all the credit to Edmonton for playing well? Because they have played really well. Max Horowitz, do you think Ekblad stays in Florida? Make it 7.5. Do you think he asked for a raise? He can't possibly justify it. I don't think Aaron Ekblad gets much of a raise. I do think it's possible. Well, no, sorry. If he stays in Florida, he's not getting a raise. If he moves, he'll get a raise. And I would bet with Ken Holland in LA, I know they got Doughty already, but why not sign another veteran defenseman for a lot of money? Oh, big hit. Pietrangelo finally gets one back on Hyman, but it doesn't matter because they haven't scored yet. 2:04 left in the third period. There's Hyman chasing down Pietrangelo. These two have just been fighting all night. $1:45 left to go in the third period. Edmonton, there's Janmark chasing down Vegas's defense. That's Dorofeyev, actually. He's not a defenseman. Just to try to waste more time. Kapanen is out there. Stetcher is out there. Janmark's out there. And here goes Kasperi Kapanen using that speed. Can he beat? Oh, he couldn't beat Howden. Or Haig, excuse me, not Howden. But he's still burning time. Well, guys, the Vegas Golden Knights laid I don't want to say laid an egg necessarily quite yet, but we're pretty close to that territory. Boy, the Vegas Golden Knights can't even gain the zone. And the Oilers are just all over them on the forecheck. All over them. This is one of the best games I've ever seen the Edmonton Oilers play. And that's any era. Admittedly, I was not alive for the 80s Oilers. I can only see them in replays. 48.9 seconds left to go in the game. Oiler fans, can you smell the conference finals? Can you smell it? Sure feels like it's going to happen. Sure feels like the Edmonton Oilers want it to happen. They want another shot at that finals. They want it. Timeout for Vegas. I'm not really sure why. They just want to extend our night together, which I appreciate them for. Man. So Sinbin Vegas tweeted out about 10 minutes ago. They can't seriously get shut out by Stuart Skinner, can they? Yikes. I'm definitely retweeting that. .9 seconds to go. Hurdle wins the faceoff. Mark Stone dumps the puck in. Nurse, Kulak out there with McDavid, Hyman, and Draisaitl. None of these pucks are hitting Stuart Skinner. That's part of the problem. I would love to know how many block shots Edmonton has. Oh, there's one that actually hit Skinner. Here's one that might. Oh, Nuge is able to break that up. Shot out of the zone. And it is pushed into the Oilers net, Oilers board, the bench. That's what I'm looking for. Bench. Guys, it's 12:21 and I'm starting to lose it. What a gom. What a gom. Well, guys, I got to tell you something. It's going to be fun Wednesday night because we're going to do this again. And we could be looking at the Oilers sending the Vegas Golden Knights home in 5 games. And that will trigger a gargantuan discussion in Vegas about how they need to be better and what kind of crazy-ass trades they're going to have to make this summer. But they still have to finish. Oilers still need to do it. And they got to get on a plane and they got to go to Vegas. And by the way, it's already Tuesday where I am. So tomorrow night, they got to do it. 15 seconds to go. Is this icing? It is not. The Vegas Golden Knights are about to be shut out. I feel confident saying that this time. About to be shut out by the Edmonton Oilers. What a performance. The Edmonton Oilers were incredible tonight. Just an all-star, unbelievable, you're not going to do it in our house sort of game. They could have had their hearts broken on Sunday night, and they didn't. Or Saturday night, they didn't. They just came in, did their job, and they're going to Vegas. Wow. Absolute, complete game. There wasn't a moment in this game where Vegas was better. Not one. Not one. The Oilers' defense was incredible in front of Stuart Skinner. That new look third line with Adam Henrique and Evander Kane, and I'm blown away by those guys because that line carried them tonight. 3 goals from that line. Huge. Huge. It's La Bamba time. Skinner waves to the crowd. Corey Perry, his birthday is on the way. Hopefully, he doesn't have to play hockey on his birthday. If the Oilers lose in Vegas, well, we're playing hockey on Corey Perry's birthday. If they win in Vegas, well, Corey's just going to be able to hang out at home. 40 years old. My goodness. Damn. Oiler fans, you got to be feeling real good right now. So I hope you sleep really well. And I want you to understand something. I really appreciate you all being here. I've had so much fun with you tonight. Big shout out to Justin Fisher. Big shout out to Hayden Matheson. Thank you guys so much. Thelen says there have now been 4 consecutive nights in the postseason where a team got shut out. That's crazy. That is crazy. I've really appreciated you guys all hanging out. Loved having you here. And I will see you Wednesday night after Steve Dangle. Okay. I'm not doing dueling streams, but after Steve is done, we will pick up wherever we need to with the Oiler game. And we will see if the Edmonton Oilers are able to end this thing in Vegas. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you then.